Aries, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. So Aries, this is the month of July, okay? What to expect, what's going to be around you. We're going to look at your energy, outside influences, people, places, and things, Aries, that might affect our July, and hopefully some nice stuff along the way. So it's going to be all-encompassing. It's going to be work, love, life. And I'm going to give this another... I always shuffle before readings anyway, guys, but I always shuffle on camera, just so you know it's not generic shuffling and there's no meaning to it all. Okay, so Aries, a couple more shuffles. We're going to go straight into this reading. I hope you guys are well, by the way. I hope you are, exercising those new plans, new people, places, and things to inspire you, Aries. I know from my personal clients, a lot of them are getting out there doing new stuff, leaving things behind that no longer serve them. And so one more shuffle, actually, and then we're straight into this reading. So Aries, what do we have for you? Month of July, 2026. Okay, undercurrent of the reading, Aries, look at this, 10 of Wands. Now, we could look at this in a very negative light, but it's not. It's super positive. The 10 of Wands is when we've gone through so much. We've had burdens, 9 of Wands, and then the 10 of Wands. Things are looking up now, Aries. The 10 of Wands is, in traditional tarot, the guy is almost near the village. He can see the village. Yeah, he's a bit weary. He's a bit like, what's the word? Battle weary. Gone through many things, many challenges. Life's rich pageant, the ups and downs of life, the good and the bad. In between happiness and sadness is a place called joy. You're almost there, Aries. Brilliant card. The center of your reading, the 6 of Wands in reverse here. Now, the 6 of Wands in traditional tarot, okay, it can talk about success, being noticed, being seen, being heard. It's a card of victory. And so in reverse, as the center of your reading, you are dropping, it's just a clarification of that undercurrent. You are dropping anything that doesn't bring you success. So what I mean by that, Aries, is you are not investing your time in things where you're setting yourself up for disaster throughout July. It's like, been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt, got the video, the DVD, the podcast, all right? And we're moving on, moving away from anything where we potentially self-sabotage ourselves. Okay, the challenge that you have, 10 of Pentacles, okay? So for some of you, watch your money, certainly your investments. Some of you, this can be relationships, might be a little bit of a struggle throughout July. It's only a couple of weeks, guys, right? But the 10 of Pentacles, something to do with relationships, building with people. Reasons why it's all happening, Aries, is the Magician in reverse here. So, it really is looking at mid-2026 now. Hey, look, I haven't manifested success. Maybe I've been dating the wrong people. Maybe I've been with the wrong social clique. Maybe there's been people around me that just using me, abusing me, me filling that cup and off they go. And so the Magician in reverse, the reason why it's all happening, you're done with tricksters, number 1, Aries. I'm going to show you the cards a bit later on, so stick around, grab your glass of wine or your cappuccino. In the recent past, leading into this reading, which I'm not going to focus too much on, but how it might affect this reading, but certainly your lives somehow, Aries. Ace of Wands in reverse here. This is a lack of a passionate new start, okay, in the Ace of Wands. So some of you, this might be about a relationship where you didn't see any victory. You might have been dealing with someone that was a bit of a trickster, and it was a challenge for them to take things to the next level. So it always gets stuck at a certain stage, like the Knight of Wands. Yeah, it's great, it's fun, but hey, where's this going? We're not progressing here. We're not maturing as a unit. Your focus throughout the July, Aries. Brilliant. Look at this. Healthy choices in love. Some of you might actually have a choice in love, okay, throughout July. The Lovers as your focus might take up a lot of your bandwidth. But, the Lovers is a card about choices, healthy choices, knowing that, I'm not setting myself up for disaster. This can be, taking the first thing that's offered to you, i.e. can be relationships, right? My options aren't that great. Yeah, I'll date this guy or this chick, all right? Or it could be, selling yourself short when it comes to careers, taking really underpaid jobs because it's all that's in front of you. What do you don't see coming? Okay, this can be good or bad, Aries. The High Priestess, okay? So the High Priestess is all about spirituality, spiritual knowledge. What you don't see coming towards you is you might be quite working stealthily, Aries. What I mean is not telling people about your plans. We realize that in life we do get naysayers. We do get people that will kind of like, rain on our parade or dampen our spirits by telling them our plans. So you might be quite secretive about what you're doing. It's on a need-to-know basis. And you know what? I'm not sharing this information until the cat is in the bag, if that makes sense. I don't know where that saying came from. Share down below if you know where that came from, once the cat's in the bag. Okay, your energetic field, okay, the Tower, which is great, Aries. This is all about you now starting with solid foundations. We know that anything that's not built, on a solid foundation does come crumbling down. We cannot avoid them. We can postpone them, maybe damage control, but they will happen. And it's, for me, I look at it, in a very philosophical way. It really is about, this is happening for a reason, and it's for my growth. What am I supposed to learn here? So the Tower as your energetic field. Outside influences, people, places, and things that might affect your July. Two of Wands in reverse. And so, back to this reading, you're making healthy choices. Stuck people, it might be a realization for you, Aries, throughout the month of July. Stuck people will make you stuck. Confused people will make you confused. Angry people will make you angry. And so, as an outside influence, the Two of Wands, this is indecision, stuck, can't make a decision. How it would play out maybe in social settings, it's like these people, what do they say? Great people talk about ideas, normal people talk about other people, those kind of things, right? But that you're not growing, you're not expanding. And so no time for people that are stuck, In your fears, we've got the Star. So as a fear, the Star is a beautiful card, Aries. The Star is, some of you, just be careful that you don't dim your light to fit in throughout July. As the Star, this is a card of being noticed. And now we can fear success just as much as we can fear failure. So just watch, self-sabotage and these kind of things throughout July. Okay, it's very normal. We can go through that, right? And possible outcomes for you, all-encompassing. I'm going to clarify in a second, guys. Is the Seven of Cups. Look at this. Options and choices. Continuation of your previous readings. Reading to reading. I read every couple of weeks. General readings, for zodiac signs. Not much changes in a couple of weeks. We're not going from zero to guru. You would agree, Aries. Things take time. We can get frustrated with how slow things are going, or our healing is taking forever. But look at this. This is about you having options and choices. It's great. So it's almost like a sense of abandonment from you, Aries, where it's kind of like, that was great whilst it lasted, but I'm keeping it moving. So I'll show you this reading, guys. Here you are. I'm just going to put a stone underneath this, all right? So the studio light doesn't, I hope you can see that better. Okay. The light glare was affecting that card. Right, so let's clarify now, Aries. Let's go a little bit deeper. Why is the Six of Wands, okay, which is a lack of celebration, being seen or heard, or victory, if you like. It's a lack of that as the center of the reading. What's this all about? Tell me more. For Aries, July 2026. Aries. Okay, Aries. Why is the Six of Wands here, in reverse here? Yeah, look, you're getting clarity. You're getting very clear. This is a beautiful card, one of the best cards in tarot, the Sun. So you're getting very clear about, putting yourself into situations where there's not a win for you. It's not taking your life forward. The challenge for some of you might have been relationships. The challenge was to build with people and you just let down and felt left out in the cold, or feeling a sense of lack. And I think it was really dimming your light a little bit, Aries, in the past, and you're no longer prepared to do that. The reasons why it's all happening, Magician in reverse here. Four of Swords in reverse here. Interesting set of cards, guys, in as much that you haven't manifested what it is you're looking for. And so, this is the Ten of Pentacles as a challenge. It is a relationship card. It's where we come together with people and we build things, okay? Finances, legacies, the house, the car, the hat, the cat, all these kind of things. It's a beautiful card in tarot, the Ten of Pentacles. And, it's funny because, the reasons why it's all happening, we've got the Magician in reverse. I haven't manifested what it is I'm looking for. Some of you might have been affected by ghosting and all these kind of things. And now you no longer give an SHIT about it. It's kind of, oh, here we go again. Another ghoster. All right, adios amigos. Recent past, lack of a new start. Some of you might have been focused on something that wasn't completely ended, but there was a lack of new start there. Your focus throughout the month now is the lovers, okay? Making healthy choices in love. Look at this. And so for you, Aries, it really is about you are looking for something passionate. The Ace of Wands, again, is an amazing card. It's an ace. It really is about, hey, look, not only is this a healthy choice, but I'm feeling passionate about this. It's a kind of creation, the Ace of Wands. It's about, let's be creative, let's do stuff. It's fire-based, which will really suit you. It's like, hey, let's do this. What you don't see coming towards you? High Priestess there. Yeah, a lot of you might be quite secretive about your past throughout July. When we're dating, for example, and we can share a lot of the information about our past, I think a lot of you will be holding back all that information now. Because we know that, magicians in reverse, they can use that against us, as opposed to celebrating us, being seen, being heard, being noticed, being validated. You're getting very clear about that. It's not about you giving too much information too soon anymore. It's about you kind of, looking for passion in your life, looking for something healthy, which, goes slow. We reveal each other, to each other on a more go slow basis. It's measured in trust and dignity and respect. And yeah, so look, holding back about what's happened to you in the past. Maybe due to magicians in reverse, they can use that, against you. Your energetic field is the Tower and the Tower in reverse here. So look, just watch your moods, Aries, throughout the month of July. You might go, damn, my life is shit. And then it's not so shit, right? The Tower. So you might actually see certain things in your life as Tower moments for the bad and realize, what, I've dodged bullets here. Outside influences, stuck things. Look at this. Okay, some of you might have been dealing and got some clarity, or will get some clarity about someone who's stuck in maybe a commitment here. Some of you, there's something to do with your money, that you're stuck in making financial decisions. You can't make them just yet. Where am I going to invest? How am I going to make the most of my investments or my savings and all of these kind of things? Some of you might be stuck, when it comes to business, trying to make decisions, how to move the company forward if it's your own business. In your fears, Aries, yeah, you don't want to get hopeful now with these kind of characters. Knight of Wands in reverse, chancers, opportunists. What they can do in life, Aries, they can come your way and they can mimic your enthusiasm for life, but they don't have it themselves, so they feed off your energy. And it's a fear of yours, but don't fear it. Just know that you see it, Aries, with the High Priestess here. Chancers, opportunists, living off of your positive, fiery energy. And you end up carrying the weight, right? And end up being, where was it? The Ten of Wands was the undercurrent of the reading, right? So you're going to really start to see who's dragging you down, who's keeping you stuck and held back. And look at this, all right? Now, for some of you, there might be an option out there which starts as a friendship, or it might be a friendship, okay? But there is an option for you when it comes to this. Some of you might be really out there, in an exploratory mode, when it comes to new friendships with the Page of Pentacles here. Others of you might be looking at, when it comes to career, looking at different options as to where I'm going to put my efforts. You know, maybe some of you are thinking of starting new businesses and you're looking at different options now of self-employment and how it can work out and what would be my chosen field in line with my life path in numerology, right? So look, it's a pretty decent reading, Aries. Again, it's a continuation of, you know, previous readings where it really is about what stays, what goes, how can I live my best life? How can I stop betraying myself by giving to chances and magicians in reverse, okay? And really, you know, they are just copying your energy. And if you ever look very closely at highly narcissistic people, what they do is because they don't really have a deep-seated personality, it's quite shallow. If they see someone who's an object of their desires, whether that be in business, life, and love, they start to copy that person. You know, little things that they do, like chameleon-based. And of course, you know, in deep psychology, when, let's say, we yawn, and it's, you know, people that are attracted to us normally yawn or feel a connection to us. They yawn at the same time. Watch that throughout a room. It does work. You know, because they don't have a deep sense of self. And so just watch that, you know, mirroring. But it's mirroring done in malice. It's not organic mirroring, if this is making sense to you guys. Okay, if it's about love throughout the month of July, let's have some messages worth waiting for. For some of you guys, you are making healthy choices in love and going for new passionate starts, exploring your options as an outcome here, starting with friendships maybe, you know, looking for something quite grounded, something quite stable, something that brings peace as opposed to, you know, fiery passion. It's ignited one day and then it, you know, it just drifts out as fast as it came in. Where was it going to go? So worth waiting for. A lot of you are going to realize that, you know what, there was something there, maybe a magician in reverse here. They might have recently come out of no contact with you, but you got very clear that, you know what, I'm still not being seen or heard here. There's no victory in this situation. I'm not waiting around. Okay, and some of you, look at this, okay, calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So this is about, you know, I don't chase, I attract. That which is rightfully mine is coming my way. We surrender it and we keep our life moving. We focus on our business. We focus on getting out there, you know, building friendships. Okay, so manifestation is key. And then it's safe for you to love, Aries, with everything that you've been through. You know, you have solid boundaries in place, a greater sense of self. It's safe for you to love, but it's also, you know, quite easy for you now to withdraw that as opposed to waiting around, you know, waiting around and, you know, chasing when ghosted and all these kind of things, or when the, you know, the communication or the passion's drifting away, we try to make it work. Now you realize it's safe for you to love with healthy boundaries in place. I can switch it on and switch it off. So it's a nice reading as far as growth is concerned throughout the month of July. Let's have a look. What's key for you, Aries, throughout this month? To take on board, don't forget your spirituality, okay? Yeah, just to take on board, you know, love. Look at this, the heart chakra. These are just, you know, these are chakra cards, okay? And so how they sit is, you know, just things that we can consider working on, certain things that we've neglected or forgotten about, which is really part of our healing. Yeah, look, the heart chakra is going to be very important throughout the month of July, okay? It's safe for you to love, opening your heart again, you know, realizing, yeah, I've been through tower moments, but you know what? I've dodged bullets. So many realizations that maybe things that have naturally dropped out, that are stuck, maybe it was a blessing in disguise anyway. Is that making sense, guys? I hope so. Okay, look, the heart, these are chakra cards, guys. The color green might be very significant. Wear more green, Aries. I know it's not a fiery color, but maybe surround yourself in green. It can be nature as well. Okay, caring, empathy, acceptance, and gentleness. Being compassionate with yourself, you know. And the third eye chakra, you know, which is all about, visualizations, being connected, spirituality is key for you. So the colors green and purple might be quite significant. What's going to be a key sentiment? This topic might come up throughout the month of July, either from other people or peace. Look at that, choosing peace. This topic, it might come up throughout the month of July. Somebody might need to swallow their pride. Let's have a look. Yeah, regrets in reverse, Aries, letting go. Friendships, again, wants to show itself. Let's have a look. Love in reverse. So what's quite topical, some of you might be letting go of situations, realizing not a healthy choice in love for me. I want something new, something passionate, something creative. Over here, I'm moving forward now when I'm reaching out or I'm getting to know someone, basing on do I like, care, or respect this person, as opposed to attractiveness and fiery and fun, which we know can put us into, pretty dreadful situations later on down the road. We find out we're on the wrong train and it's an expensive ticket to get back to where we started, right? I used that in a previous reading, I think. Where was I going to go? So some of you are realizing, this wasn't working in the past, whatever it might mean. Yeah, and look, endings. I'm learning that endings are merely brand new beginnings. And look over here at your energetic field here. I think I'm going through a bit of a tower moment, and then suddenly, do you know what? I've actually dodged bullets here. I'm getting back out there now, and I'm exploring. Brilliant reading, actually. Really like it for you, Aries. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. You're going to have moments where you think, life is shit, and then suddenly, no, it's not. I've got a blank canvas now to work on stuff. I've done that. If you're a song, Aries, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might evoke certain feelings within you. Just for a very select few of you, some of you might have a choice to make between two people. Just be careful that it's not based on lust. It's just a heads up, okay? Okay, Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Whatever it might mean, guys, give it one listen to. If it's not your genre, then dump it. As always, the drill here on Modern Tarot. But give it a listen to. There might be a message in that song for you, a subliminal message, okay? Maybe just the melody might evoke certain feelings or nostalgia within you, being brought up to your awareness for a reason, right? Music's just an amazing medium. I've done that. I've done Messages for Love. Leave you with a positive message now to take throughout your month, Aries. But it's great, many realizations, making healthy choices. You're looking for something deep, but also something passionate. Okay, what's wrong with that? Okay, that's, amazing, isn't it? Let's have a look. Aries. Okay, this card brings you the validation you've been seeking. This is a sign to take action on whatever it is you have been contemplating, Aries. So whatever you've been contemplating doing, making healthy choices about creative new starts, some of the new businesses, looking at that, Some of you, you have been a little bit stuck here when it comes to work and finance. And be fearlessly you, Aries, okay? It's time to become fearlessly you. This is the most powerful step you can take to live in... I'll do that again, shall I? Be fearlessly you, Aries. It's time to become fearlessly you. This is the most powerful step you can take towards living your best life. Do not worry about what others think. Be fearlessly you. Just go for it. And one more. Divine timing. Everything is going to make sense soon, Aries. Trust that the timing of your life is being taken care of by your angels, the universe, God, however you frame your belief system. So divine timing is there. There's a lot of things working behind the veil. Okay? Some of you are going to have major realizations why things in the past didn't work out. That, I thought they were a tower moment, but really I've dodged a bullet. And I'm opening up to brand new options now, getting out there, exploring life. Some of you completely starting again in a much more grounded fashion now, not being carried away with lust and fleeting moments of, the highs of life, realizing that, it's all about balance for me now. So, and obviously when your emotional life is really solid and stable and you feel assured on that, other areas of your life can thrive too because you have that solid foundation. And not only that, for some of you, you are focused on a connection that brings you joy. These are two people that choose each other. It's very closely linked to the Devil card. In as much that in the Devil card, it's the same kind of depictation, but they're chained together. So narcissism and codependency, for example, these two, they don't own each other. There's no possession there. It really is, hey, I choose you. And there's a certain freedom, that you give each other the space to become the best version of you, celebrate their successes, commiserate, in their little disasters in life, which we all have, right? Life's rich pageant, plus and minus in everything we do, isn't there, Aries? So look, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I wish you, an amazing July or the first couple of weeks, and I'll be back here mid-month. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you'd like a personal reading, Aries, reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing time throughout July, and I'll see you back here. Bye now. Leo, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. Leo, this is all about the month of July 2026. Where's this year going? So we're going to have a look at your energy. What's around you, Leo? What to watch out for, certainly. And hopefully some nice stuff along the way. So I will clarify, so stick around. Grab your cranberry juice, your gin and tonic, your cappuccino, whatever it is. And hopefully some nice stuff for you. So, Leo, one more shuffle, and we're going to go straight into this reading. The time is limited, right? Undercurrent of the reading. Okay, you're rejecting something, Leo, or there's a feeling of rejection. Whatever this might mean at this point, it's an undercurrent. So there might be certain situations in your life, it can be to do with work, love, or life. You might decide to reject offers. Okay. Center of your reading today, Leo. The Ace of Pentacles, brilliant card, okay? It's an auspicious card, if you like, for money, for investments. The center of the reading, some of you, the center of the reading can be about child support, just for some of you, very select few of you there. But the Ace of Pentacles is about job offers. Those of you that have been applying for jobs or career moves, it's a great card for that, the Ace of Pentacles. It's also a card of stability. It's about, a serious, grounded offer. The challenge that you might have throughout July is the Eight of Cups in reverse. So, look, this is a great start to this reading, Leo. There might be an offer coming your way which is just too good to walk away from. The reasons why it's all happening is the Empress in reverse here. Interesting card. If we have the Ace of Pentacles as the center of the reading, the Empress in reverse, the Empress in the upright, Leo, it talks about, walking around the world with dignity. The Empress, she's not the loudest person in the room. For some of you, there might be an offer coming your way. This is just for a select few of you, where you might decide to take an offer, but you might be selling yourself short, just for some of you, okay? Recent past coming into this reading, how this next card will affect this reading, but also your life, right? Is the Page of Swords, okay? Some kind of communication. This could have been research in the recent past, Leo. Some of you, researching companies. This could have been headhunted for some of you, hence this offer's coming your way. Your focus throughout the first couple of weeks, at least, of July, is the Four of Wands. Your stability. Some of you might be very focused on home improvements or on the home somehow. Where am I going to move to? Relocations, all these kind of things. This is also a card of relationship, the Four of Wands. So some of you might be really focused on relationships throughout the month of July. At least stability within relationships. Definitely the home, okay? So home improvements, all these kind of things. What you don't see coming towards you, Leo, good or bad, life's a rich pageant, right? We always have good and bad, you know, plus and negative, male, female, in and out, black and white. Let's have a look. Is the King of Wands in reverse here? Interesting card, okay? King of Wands in reverse, you know, they look great on paper. Just wondering, just for some of you, there might be somebody there that decides to offer you something very solid and stable. This might be someone that made you feel less than in the past, Leo. Just for a select few of you, okay? I will clarify, guys, so stick around. We'll use the overhead camera so you can see this reading. Your energy, Leo, throughout the month of July. Okay, you're in a period of healing, a lot of you. The Three of Swords here. You know, some of you might be, you know, feeling a little bit heartbroken. You know, it's an undercurrent, you know, in your energetic field. So back to this reading, just be careful that, you know, there might be certain characters in your life that are coming to offer something stable. And, you know, because you're not feeling that great about yourself, you might decide to take this offer for some of you, okay? Or to go with it. Just be careful of this person's intentions. That's all the card is saying, basically. There's a little bit of a warning in this reading. Normal, guys. Outside influences, okay? People, places, or things that might affect your July. Okay, we've got the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles, it can be a card of stubbornness. It's the miser. It's someone holding back their resources. So for some of you guys, somebody might really want to offer you something and they're quite stubborn about it. Okay, just watch out that their intentions are pure. That's all I'm saying. In your fears, Leo, justice. Okay, for some of you, this might have to do with some kind of a payout due to divorce, you know, some kind of legalities or payouts regarding homes, regarding property, and all these kind of things might be quite key throughout the month of July, just for some of you. Okay, look at this outcome. Five of Cups in reverse, getting over disappointments, Leo, whatever this might mean. So let's clarify now. I'll show you your reading, guys. So here we go. So Leo, remember the center of your reading. I'm going to put that over there for a second. I hope you can see all these cards in the frame, guys. This is the Aquarian deck. It doesn't show up fantastically on camera. They're very pastel 1970s kind of colors, but it's a great deck to work with. So let's have a look. The Ace of Pentacles. Why is that here for you? Leo, I was going to say Aries there. I've just done the Aries reading. Forgive me, guys. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles. Why is that here for you? Now, remember, it can be payouts. It can be offers of employment, of career moves, childcare, child support, all these kind of things, or a stable offer in love. Let's have a look. Why is that here for Leo? For some of you, it might have been something that you've been waiting for. Yeah, look at this, guys, all right? Just watch somebody's intentions. That, you know, this person might have made you feel a less than, okay? You might have recently opened up communication with this people, but, you know, remember, you know, the challenge is it's too good to walk away from, and then we've got the Seven of Swords in reverse here. So are their intentions pure? You know, does it sound, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. I think is the mantra for you, Leo, throughout the month of July, in all areas of life, right? The challenge is to walk away, not being able to walk away from something. And then we've got the Moon in reverse here. Look, there might be somebody there that can't walk away from you, Leo. Somebody that maybe made you feel less than. Okay, and they're coming back and they kind of like want to offer you something stable, but Seven of Swords in reverse. Reason why it's all happening, Empress in reverse here, and the Five of Cups. Look, you might have been disappointed by this person, Leo, in the past, whatever this might mean. Recent past, okay, some kind of communication here with the Page of Swords. Might have been speaking about a third party just for some of you. You know, this could be communication from a friend, for example. Your focus is the Four of Wands and the Tower. As a focus, This might come as a shock to you that this person is looking for a relationship now, and maybe they weren't in the past, and suddenly they're coming. But are their intentions pure? Are they just trying to get you back into their good graces after they kind of like held back from you? For some of you, maybe third parties, right? King of Wands in reverse. What's that here for? Yeah, look, somebody is having a little bit of. They've done a bit of reflection, a little bit of inner work here. Okay. With the Hermit, you know, maybe a little bit of karma has caught up with this person. Just be careful of their intentions if they're coming back around to offer you something stable and solid, Leo. Your energetic field. Look at this. This is great. Okay, you're going from heartbreak to a brand new start in love. But, you know, the Ace of Cups is, for some of you might decide, hey, look, you know what? This is shocking that this person actually wants to come back around. And you know what? Yeah, I've been hurt by this in the past. It made me feel less than. I was feeling disappointed. But you know what? I have self-love now. So I might decide to hold back from this. What is that about? The Queen of Wands. You know, because you're... you know, it's a fire energy, isn't the Queen of Wands? You might decide to hold back from this person, Leo, because your confidence levels are increasing now. You know? In your fears, justice, Lovers in reverse here. You know, I think really a fear of yours is wanting to do right by people, Leo, you know, giving them the benefit of the doubt with justice, you know, fairness, only to see that the Lovers in reverse, I'm still not being chosen, or, you know what, it's not a healthy choice in love for me. But the outcome's great. Five of Cups in reverse here, and the Two of Wands in reverse, which is like, you know, it's getting over disappointment and also leaving something stuck. So some of you, a person might come back around. They might have made you feel less than, disappointed. You might have got some communication about third parties in the past here. They suddenly, you know, want to give you a brand new offer, but it's backed up by the Seven of Swords in reverse here. You know, the secret might come out. This person can't walk away from you. They've had a bit of an epiphany, but you might have healed. Confidence levels great. Worked on self-love, Leo. And you're happy to leave this stuck now. You're over the disappointment of it. There isn't a decision to be made. Let's have a look. If it is about love, let's have some general messages about love and see if this can clarify this. Look at this attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And over here, you are maybe holding back from certain situations, Leo, working on your confidence, especially self-love. What is self-love? It's bandied around the world, isn't it? Like the word taxi these days. But self-love is about having solid boundaries, you know, honoring thyself, not in a selfish way, but what's healthy for me? What are my needs? What are my deal breakers? Am I dimming my light to fit in or to fit around somebody's life? You know, that's not self-love, is it? So let's have a look. Some messages around love for July, Leo. Unrequited love. You know, I don't think this wasn't an unrequited love. There might have been something there. Some of you might still love this person, okay? But you might be stuck in making the decision. It might make you happy that suddenly they're offering you this. But, you know, maybe something inside of you is saying, hey, Lo, you know what? I've just got myself back on my feet here. I'm really starting to love myself again. You know, I'm looking for brand new love for some of you, you know? Codependency. You're maybe no longer codependent to this, Leo. You know, codependency. Addictions are a factor in your love life, you know? Maybe you've moved on from being codependent to, you know, these kind of characters. Look great on paper. They can seem attractive, you know, male or female. Okay, one more. Hard to honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So look, for some of you guys, all right, very mixed bag on this table, but some of you, this person might have an epiphany. They might come back and might be some heart-to-heart conversations here. It might actually help you get over the disappointment, but you're not going to make a decision about it. You might find it quite shocking that this person now wants something solid when they made you feel less than and disappointed, right? Possibly third parties for some of you in the past. And now, you know, you are healing and you're looking after yourself here. Do you, boo, right? Let's have a look. What's really key for you, Leo, throughout the month of July? As far as, your healing, forward movement, attracting good stuff into your life, healthy choices in love. Something you might decide to drop out of communication. There might be some heart-to-heart conversations and you just let it go, but it eases something. You might be feeling quite smug about the fact that this person's had an epiphany, but you've moved on. Look at this. Okay, love might be quite key. Kindness, benevolence, sharing, and receiving. Look at this, the heart chakra. Okay, so your heart might be stirred throughout this month, Leo. Desire, fun, fulfillment, and joy. Over here, you are holding back, just enjoying being you, taking action in life, feeling attractive, Leo. And, loving yourself in the process, honoring your healing. And one more. And intuition. Some of you, your intuition might have expected somebody to come back around. But, intuition, trust, insight, awareness, and guidance. So your intuition is key. Some of you might spot the fact that, just because, I've had a bit of a glow up over here, I've done some real deep healing work here, started to love myself, got over the disappointment of someone making me feel less than, and now suddenly somebody might want to come back around because you are out of their control. So, there might be a choice for you. You might decide to, let the choice go and there is no decision. This isn't a decision breaker, or there isn't a decision to be made for me. I'm over the disappointment. I can't afford to go back to this because I realize if I get on the wrong train in life, in love, it's an expensive journey to get back to self-love. Once that damage has been done, it takes time. You would agree, Leo. What's key? All right, a key sentiment, emotion, word, topic might come up throughout July. Interesting reading. I think you guys have had a glow up, Some of you might be very grateful, of the lessons that you've learned, as tough as they might have been, So, this glow up, this self-love, look at this abundance. Let's have a look. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So blame. There might be some blame. This person over here, a blame game might, the word blame. And then relationships, okay? I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Look at this over here, okay? You'll glow up over here, Leo, and self-love, okay? And then relationship. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Maybe leaving out, certain situations that made me feel less than because it wasn't for my highest good. And failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Maybe this person, Leo, has failed and they're having an epiphany of making you feel less than. And then suddenly they want to offer you something solid and stable, but it's backed up by the Seven of Swords in reverse. So do you trust it, Leo? I think a choice needs to be made, but a lot of you might decide to go, you know what? I'm keeping on with this journey over here. My glow up and my self-love. Great for you, Leo. Good for you. Where was I going to go now? I've done that. If you're a song, Leo, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might evoke certain feelings within you. They're just being brought up to your awareness for healing. Burning Photographs. I'm going to give you that one, actually, by Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams, guys. Burning Photographs. And, it's all about, letting go of the past. Burning Photographs by Ryan Adams. Give it one listen to, okay? If it's not your genre, as always, guys, you know the drill here on Modern Tarot. If it's not your genre, dump it. But there might be a message in that for you. So I've done that. And these, okay, positive message to love you and leave you, Leo. But a good month for you having resolved to say no to situations. Maybe your intuition kicks in regarding an offer being too good to be true. It might be very difficult to turn it down. Others of you on a positive note in business, in work, there might be an offer which you can't refuse. Okay? It might be something that, you felt that you weren't a strong candidate for, or you weren't going to get it. Okay, that's another topic in this reading. Be fearlessly you, Queen of Wands energy, okay, with the Ace of Cups, Leo. It's time to become fearlessly you, the most important and powerful step you can take towards living your best life right now. Do not worry about what others think. And so, you know, when the blame game maybe comes your way, don't worry about, you know, you don't care about somebody else's opinion of you. The only opinion is when you look in the mirror and go, am I a decent person? That's the only opinion that really matters, you know? People's opinion of you is none of your business, right, Leo? It's a mantra for you. And surrender. Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes for you. Your manifestations will materialize when you truly surrender. And somebody might decide to surrender something that seems too good to be true, that left you disappointed and maybe a little bit heartbroken in the past, but you've moved on. Great for you, Leo. Good for you. Resolve, substance, you know, moving forward with conviction. Love it for you guys. Look, I hope you enjoyed that. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, Leo, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, reach out on moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. And I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, Leo, have an amazing first 2 weeks of July, and I'll see you back in mid-month. Take care now. Bye. Sagittarius, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. So, Sagittarius, this is all about July 2026. Where is this year gone? So we're going to look at your energy, what's around you, what to watch out for, certainly, and hopefully some nice stuff along the way, Sagittarius. So I'm going to make these readings quite short today. So sit back, relax, grab your gin and tonic, your glass of wine, your cappuccino, and I will clarify, all right? I use the overhead camera a little bit later on so you can see this reading. So, Sagittarius, one more shuffle. We're going to go straight into this. Your time is limited. What's coming up for you? Month of July. Undercurrent of the reading. Okay, the High Priestess in reverse is an undercurrent of your month. So anything that was not released to you as far as information, you know, secrets or things behind the veil will become very clear to you. So, you know, revelations might be quite key throughout the month of July. Certainly secrets coming to light, reasons why things didn't go ahead or why things are happening also. So High Priestess in reverse. Do not doubt your intuition throughout the month. That's a warning from that card. Center of your reading, Sagittarius. King of Pentacles in reverse here. Now, the King of Pentacles in the upright, most committed guy in the deck. In reverse, not so much. But the King of Pentacles in reverse, it can talk about money. Watch your money, watch your investments. It might be very much a case of you really, you know, looking at the small print when it comes to contracts. Anything to do with finances, investments might be quite key. The challenge that you might have throughout the month, we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse here. Okay, so again, it's about your money, okay? The challenge is the Nine of Swords talks about anxiety, so there might be anxieties that are hard to let go of regarding money. Now, I know Sagittarians, you guys love to get out there, you love to travel, you love to take action. So there might be certain things that you'd love to do, but you've got to watch your finances throughout the month of July. The reasons why it's all happening. The Ace of Wands here. Okay, so the Ace of Wands talks about a passionate new start. Now, others of you, if this is about love, you might have someone around you, Sagittarius, which is a little bit non-committal. It might be very much about lust and passion with the Ace of Wands here. And you're trying to, you know, come out of overthinking it all. Recent past here, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, the Seven of Wands, it talks about being guarded. It can also talk about fighting for one's position. I'll clarify, guys. Your focus throughout the month, something that might take up a lot of your bandwidth, emotional, mentally, okay? Five of Cups in reverse, you just want to get over disappointments, leave disappointments behind throughout the month here. So lots of strategy around your money, trying to ease some anxieties around finances, these kind of things. There might be some real passionate things that you really want to do, but you've got to check your balance sheet first. What you don't see coming towards you, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, some of you watch out for repairs on your home. Others of you, you might be thinking about moving or sowing the seed about relocating. But something to do with the home might be quite key. It's also a card of relationship, stability. So your stability will be kind of like at the forefront of your month. So if we take that back to, I've got passionate new starts that I really want to go for, creative projects, could be traveling with wands. I've got to cross the T's and dot the I's with my finances before I can really commit to that. Okay, looking at my stability. So, for example, if some of you are thinking of long haul flights and going away for months, how do I rent out my property to pay for whatever? Does that make sense? Something to do with property, travel, money might be quite key for some of you. Others of you, there might be something to do with the fact that somebody might not be fully committed, but they might enjoy the passion, Sagittarius. Your energy, okay, so your energetic field. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, the sun. This is about, shining your light wherever you go, Sagittarius. The sun is a beautiful card. It's about clarity. So how people will approach you, when we come across people that are very much coming from this energy, there's a transparency about it, but it's just easy breezy. It is what it is. There's no ambiguity. So you're going to be very direct, happy, and upfront with people. And people are going to enjoy those kind of interactions with you. Outside influences, people, places, or things. Yeah, some of you can't go on travels like you want to. You're looking at your finances with the world in reverse here. Something might not be over. Something hasn't closed out for those of you dealing with relationships. There might be somebody around you who's not really showing full commitment, but the passion might be great. In your fears, the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, this is about someone holding back. It's the miser card in tarot. This is someone holding back their time, care, attention, resources, especially with the pentacles there. So it's a fear of yours. Someone is holding back. Why are they holding back? We're going to look at that. And the outcome, Seven of Cups in reverse, coming out of confusion, ruling things in or ruling things out for you, Sagittarius. What stays, what goes? Okay, maybe some of you might think, well, you know what? I'm not prepared to be an option with the Seven of Cups in reverse here. You're either in it to win it or you're not at all. Because you're happy no matter what, Sagittarius. So good for you. I'll show you this reading, guys. So I'm just going to put this up here because the studio light is actually creating some glare on that card. So Sagittarius, here's your reading. I'm going to clarify now. So look at that. That wasn't really well thought out, guys, was it? Never mind. Right, so why is the King of Pentacles in reverse as the center of your reading? Sagittarius, throughout the month of July. Okay, you might be dealing with someone that's quite attractive, okay? Or you might find them attractive here. Let's have a look. King of Pentacles in reverse. Why is that here for you, Sagittarius? Look, yeah, you might have a very strong connection with somebody here with the Two of Cups, and then we've got the King of Pentacles in reverse here. Others of you, a very strong spiritual connection might be affecting your finances. Sometimes when they are strong connections, they can do that. They can throw your stability, upside down, affect your business and these kind of things, depending on your the French word is comportement. Depending on your outlook on love, okay, and connections. So the challenge is the Nine of Swords in reverse is coming out of anxiety. And then we've got the Seven of Cups again in reverse. Look, some of you might think, you know what, this is a deep connection. This person is non-committal. Yes, the passion is great. Maybe that is all they are looking for. They're not looking to settle down. You know, they might be a little bit guarded, or you're guarded against that kind of behavior. Maybe the challenge is, you know what, it's not maybe a viable option for me. The reasons why it's all happening, we've got the Ace of Wands. Okay, and then we've got the Five of Pentacles. Like I said, guys, if it's about love, there might be something there that's quite passionate, but you're constantly feeling like left out in the cold, or a bit of a lack here. Recent past, feeling guarded and a little bit burdened by the situation. But it's the 10, you know, so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm guarded, but it kind of is what it is. I'm you know, I'm very clear, and I'm starting to get some clarity around situations now. Maybe this isn't a viable option for me. Your focus is getting over disappointment. And look at this beautiful card for you, Sagittarius. This is the Empress. This is a beautiful energy, you know, male or female. You walk into a room, you're not the loudest person in the room. You hold your head high, you look great, you nurture yourself, you just are, you know. It's transparent with the sun here. It's happy. But it's not, you know, feigned confidence or feigned happiness. It really is a sense of peace around the Empress. It's highly attractive, this energy. So you might be really focused on, you know, doing you, boo, you know, looking after yourself, looking good, pampering yourself. Brilliant, I like it. What you don't see coming towards you is look at this. Some of you, there is definitely... some of you might be moving or thinking of moving. Some of you might be moving on from a relationship where you lived together. There was a deep connection here, but the King of Pentacles in reverse. This is like, you know, some people can be in relationships, but they've got one foot in and one foot out, Sagittarius, you know, and you're always hoping for this brand new start that never comes. So your energy is the sun, getting very clear about a relationship. Some of you are getting very clear about your stability in life, you know. Also, like I said, relocations, you know, following the sun. You know, some of you might be moving to warmer climates or thinking about it as a long-term goal. Outside influences, got the World in reverse. Something hasn't fully closed out. And then we've got the 10 of Swords. Some of you, there might be, you know, conditions to do with your physical back, and it hasn't fully ended your treatment or your recovery period. That's for a very select few of you. But it's an interesting set of cards, guys, when we have the World in reverse, you know, so something hasn't quite ended, and there might have been betrayal there. In your fears. You know, the Four of Pentacles is someone holding back, but the Magician, you know, the Magician in the upright, he gives and receives. When we've got the Four of Pentacles and the Magician, it's almost like I'm going to give you just enough to keep you around, you know. So we go from this, the Ace of Wands, passion, forward movement, and then suddenly this here. And we can carry on hanging on for the honeymoon period in certain situations. So it's a fear of yours that, are you being manipulated for some of you? Outcome, Seven of Cups in reverse here, and the Four of Swords in reverse here. Now, here's an interesting combination over there. Someone might stop playing the field. Someone that you once knew, okay, maybe this was a fleeting, you know, passionate thing, and they might come out of no contact with you. Now, just be careful of that if they are a Magician in reverse and their MO is to, you know, come in, you know, with the Ace of Wands and then suddenly hold back, you know, just watch out for hoovering for some of you guys out there. You know, when their options are low, they come back around, they come out of no contact. If it is about love, Sagittarius, let's have a look at that. But it's a good month for those of you thinking of moving, relocating, traveling, obviously looking at your finances, you know, planning, being strategic about your money, which can afford you, you know, to go on, you know, staycations or long distance, long haul stuff. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Okay, unrequited love in reverse. Okay, so there is love there. It's just that someone isn't really showing up. And then we've got codependency in reverse here. So, Sagittarius, how this reading is looking to me is you are fostering a deep sense of self-love and respect for yourself with the Empress. You might have been dealing with or are dealing with somebody whose MO, their little manipulation is about giving loads and then pulling back. Which, of course, if you are slightly codependent, that keeps you hanging on. But I don't think this is you anymore. I think you're starting to see the light, getting over the disappointment of how you might have let yourself down by falling into these kind of traps. This is somebody that uses the game of scarcity as an MO, So it's like love bombing and then pulling back. And the recipient of this love bombing holds on for this very start of it again. Although it's in the upright, it really is, it's quite worrying. Just, start to spot those games. I think you're getting very clear about your stability, what makes you feel stable when it comes to matters of the heart, It looks like, this is a beautiful card for love, by the way, in your energetic field, So some of you might be romantic, towards somebody here. So there might be love, it might be quite a deep connection, but you're really healing codependency, And some of you might decide that, it's safer to love this particular person from afar, I still feel the connection, but I don't like this, When you don't have any options, you come back around and, blow up my phone with the 4 of Swords in reverse. It can talk about no contact in the upright. What's key for you, Sagittarius, throughout the month? Something to take on board. Okay, we've got sexuality in reverse. Now, remember, over here, guys, this can be a phallic symbol, the Ace of Wands, and then, this can be like empty sex. So, where's the commitment? Where's the depth to it? This Two of Cups energy in love making. This is more about, kind of like selfish sex where you feel alone in the act, if that's making sense, just for a very select few of you guys. But let's have a look. Sagittarius, what's really key for you to take on board something maybe that you've overlooked or forgotten, all to do with your healing, right? Desires, goals, passion, craving, and fulfillment. So, some of you might have to keep your desires in check here. And then we got connection. Okay, universal oneness, love, interconnection, and support. Connection. What does a connection mean to you? Is this too empty for you now? It's not a viable option, And then we got presence. Awareness, attention, reality, and connection. So getting very, look, your money, it jumped out, guys. I've got to give you that, right? Finances, power, generosity, abundance. So money, remember that was the very start of the reading for some of you, really looking at your finances and planning. But it's about being present, being aware that, yes, there is a connection here, but is it purely based on desire and lust? Is that enough for me now? Now that I've, ended codependency where I need to be needed, or, avoidant attachments where these people, they give you all the love bombing only to let you down and leave you feeling out in the cold, which keeps you addicted. You're done with that now. You're getting very clear about your stability in July. Great reading as far as growth is concerned, Sagittarius, about, standing in your power with the Empress there. The Magician with the 4 of Pentacles, this is tough competition. The Empress, she is worthy. So good for you. Let's have a look. I've done that. What's quite key? Okay, this might be an emotion. This might be a word. Worry. Okay, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Might be quite key for you. But this might come up, this topic, throughout the month of July. Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And you know what? The Empress trusts herself. She trusts herself to do what's right by her. Because look, your energetic field over here is, the Sun. It's a beautiful card. And then we've got the Four of Wands, which is, looking for stability. As opposed to, this kind of love bombing stuff over here. And then pride. I love myself and I see myself in everybody. Now, pride, how I'm reading this in this particular reading, Sagittarius, is pride in reverse. I'm looking at this over here. This person, when you start to stand in your energy here, your focus is the Empress with the Sun and the Four of Wands. These people don't like it when you step out of their control because the love bombing is no longer working. You've ended codependency or are starting to see very clearly into their MO. And you're no longer buying into it. You're choosing Empress energy, male or female. And now it's no longer a viable this person might not have any options, and they come back around and they hoover. So good for you, Sagittarius. Those of you that are going through that or mastered the act of seeing straight through, magicians. They can be tricksters, depending on the cards around it. If it was in reverse, it would be super sinister, right? They know exactly what they're doing. This person might be a little bit oblivious, as to what they are doing. So really interesting reading, a very mixed bag for some of you. A lot of you, it's about thinking about moving. Traveling might be quite key. Some of you, back surgeries or, having ongoing treatment with your lower back especially, might be quite key. I've done that. If you're a song, Sagittarius, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might evoke certain feelings within you, just being brought up to your awareness for, Yesterday by the Beatles. And you know what? Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks like they're here to stay. It might be the same old MO with a particular person, which just brings you anxiety. So you might decide, you know what? It's the Empress all the way for me throughout July. Good for you, Sagittarius. I like it. It's great reading for you. I want to close out this reading now with some positive messages, Sagittarius. New beginnings in reverse. I don't think so. A lot of you see straight through a particular person, and you're not going for it. Let's have a look. Others of you might still go for it until time catches up with you, and you go, "Oh, I get it now." You're protected, Sagittarius. It's go time. You're currently being protected by the universe, God, however you frame your belief system. It has your best interests at heart. Move forward fearlessly and have courage. Look at this. Some of you, moving on from relationships, some of you, you're protected and you want to travel, you want to relocate. It's great. And one more. Focus, remain completely focused on what you want. The best is yet to come. And, if I look at your energetic field over here, Sagittarius, they're beautiful cards, the Sun and the Four of Wands, and I look at this, remain completely focused on what you want. The best is yet to come. It speaks to me that along with the Empress, I do not chase, I attract. That which is rightfully mine is on its way, and you surrender it and have faith that it's arriving. So some of you are on to better things. Brilliant. I love this reading. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, Sagittarius, reach out, moderntarot.net directly, or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. And I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing first 2 weeks of July, and I'll see you back here mid-month. Take care. Bye. Cancer, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. So happy birthday to some of you celebrating your birthdays, by the way, Cancer. I hope you're having an amazing time. So we're going to have a look at what's around you, your energy, how you're showing up throughout July, and hopefully some nice stuff along the way. So grab your cappuccino, your chamomile tea, or your gin and tonic, whatever's your pickle, Cancer. So I'm going to make these readings fairly short today. Okay, your time is very valuable and limited. So one more shuffle. We're going to go straight into this, Cancer. Yeah, that's done. Okay, so undercurrent of your reading. Look at this, brilliant. Dropping burdens, the Ten of Wands. So for a lot of you, whatever you've gone through, Cancer, coming into this reading, coming into July, it's kind of like a rucksack full of problems, you're just putting it down. So the end of the road of some struggles for some of you, okay, in all areas of life, work, love, and life. Center of your reading today, Cancer. We've got the Four of Swords in reverse here. Okay, this might be coming out of no contact with somebody, or somebody wants to come out of no contact with you. Or you might actually be opening up again after spending some time missing in action or just being a bit homebody-ish. The challenge that you might have, we've got the Three of Wands in reverse here. Now, for some of you, if this is about love, there might be somebody that wants to come out of contact with you, but you've lost optimism in a situation with the Three of Wands in reverse here. The reasons why it's all happening, Cancer. We've got the Hierophant in reverse here. You don't see commitment in this, okay, with the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant in the upright, it talks about the tried and tested, societal norms. It can talk about education, libraries, government buildings, commitments. Recent past coming into this reading, how this next card might affect certainly this reading, but, your month of July. The Queen of Swords, you got very clear, Cancer, about what it is you're looking for, what it is you want. The Queen of Swords, some of you, just for a very select few of you, you might decide to start proceedings, consulting lawyers about legalities, joint assets, if you're common law, husband and wife, or even if you're married, you might have started proceedings and consulted lawyers. Your focus throughout July, what's going to take up a lot of your bandwidth, emotionally or mentally. Yeah, you're not prepared to be juggled, okay? And you are dropping the ball on certain things that just brought you burdens, Cancer. I'm liking it. And you know what? There's quite a lot of yellow in this reading so far. You'll see it in a second. There's a lot of yellow. There's a bit of red and orange, which would remind me of fire. And then we've got blue, which is all about communication. And so you're starting to communicate from a sense of self, as opposed to people pleasing, as opposed to dimming your light to fit in. So it's a great reading with that fire to move you forward. So the fire is burning. What you don't see coming towards you throughout the month of July. Eight of Wands in reverse here. So this is all about stopping or cutting off communication, maybe. Or communication has stopped. So, looking at the reading, as the reading progresses, some of you, there might be somebody that wants to come out of contact. The challenge is that, you've lost optimism in the situation. There was no commitment. You dropped the ball on it, Cancer. You got very clear in the recent past. And you're not open to communicating. But look at this, your energetic field. You are open to new love, Cancer. Knight of Cups is a beautiful energy. It's the poet. But the Knight of Cups is, you are open to love. You might be feeling quite romantic. Now, you might want to offer your love to somebody in particular. We're going to clarify this reading. Stick around, guys. Outside influences, yeah, you know what? Brand new beginnings for you, with the world. So the story of tarot, we have, the Fool, which is the journey of consciousness, if you like. When we run through all of the major arcana, we come to the world. It ends. New beginning. We go into a new cycle, a new chapter, if you like, with all of the wisdom from the previous cycle. So where there's an ending, there's a brand new beginning. So it's all about change for you. You've changed, Cancer. You are the change. Instead of trying to change people, and this is your previous readings, and I read every 2 weeks, more or less, on YouTube, and they're collective readings. They're not personal readings, guys, right? So, there's not many changes in cards between readings, We don't go from zero to guru in life, do we, Cancer? It takes time, There's purging to do. There's acceptance, denial, anger, back to denial, back to acceptance. The healing program, right? In your fears, Cancer. Okay, some of you, will I leave this disappointment behind? Okay, will I get over disappointments? And I think really how you do that, Cancer, is, by staying really optimistic now about not letting, going back into situations where it's circular conversations, rehashing old ground. It's not taking you forward. I think you're just dropping the ball on it. And then the outcome, yeah, this is how you dodge tower moments. Tower in reverse here, which is great. So let's have a look. I'm going to clarify now. Let me show you this reading, guys. So here's your reading, Cancer. I hope you can see all of these cards. So I'll take another deck, this one. So Cancer, why is the Four of Swords, I'm just going to stick that over there for a second. Why is the Four of Swords in reverse as the center of your reading? The Tower wanted to show itself there. Somebody might want to come out of no contact with you, Cancer, and they're quite shocked. So the fact that you dropped the ball on it. Let's have a look, because you got very clear. Why is the Four of Swords in reverse here for Cancer? King of Swords in reverse wants to show itself. This is like toxic masculinity, if you like, Yeah, look, somebody wants to come out of no contact, okay, and come out of feeling left out in the cold. The challenge is they're not very optimistic, or you lost optimism in it. King of Cups in reverse, maybe due to emotional manipulation, Cancer. For some of you, just for a very, very select few of you, there might have been something to do with addictions, especially alcohol here. And the challenge is that you've lost the optimism that this person could ever heal that or deal with that addiction. That's for a minority of you. Reasons why it's all happening. Hierophant in reverse here. Magician in reverse. Look at this. Not very nice cards, guys. These are people, that kind of keep you around with no real intention of committing. Might be commitment phobe. Okay, in the recent past, Queen of Swords here. You got very clear of how this was throwing you into imbalance, Cancer. Okay, and your focus now is dropping the ball. Look at this, because you're looking for brand new starts, something solid and stable. The Ace of Pentacles, a far cry from the Magician in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse, right? Both major arcanas. So these kind of people can really do a number on you. If you're coming from codependency, these people, you are a dream come true for them. But I don't think Cancer's that way anymore. The needing to be needed, the over-nurturing. Enough of that for Cancer. What you don't see coming towards you, Eight of Wands in reverse here. Look at this. You've dropped the ball. Twice this has come out in this reading. And you're not open to communication. You're all about the new. What's this about? Again, look, repetitive cards here. Not wanting to communicate with the past. You've dropped the ball on it. You are all about the new. Okay, outside influences, the world. And look at this. Cancer, this is brilliant. The world, this is like a brand new beginning where there's been endings. The Ten of Wands at the start of the reading was, you know what? I'm there. I've done it. I'm dropping all of this. And then emotional stability here with the Queen of Cups. It's great. Back to your nurturing self, but with healthy boundaries, with a sense of stability. Some of you, we've got, over here as your focus here. You might make a decision regarding finances or some kind of an opportunity. You might have had a choice, you were and ahhing, and now you're focused on what gives you the most stability. What's the most solid offer when it comes to work and careers and investments? In your fears, okay, these can be deep within your psyche, okay, your unconscious fears, irrational fears sometimes. Yeah, look, will I ever get over the disappointment of, non-reciprocal situations here? Interesting. Okay, so an outcome, dodging a bullet, because, the love just dropped out of it. The Ace of Cups, there's nothing new here. Been there, seen it, done it. Tell me more about this person, Cancer, whoever this might be. No, actually, I'll take this deck over here. Cancer. What's this about? The Hierophant in reverse, Magician in reverse. This is someone that you might have taken time apart from. This person might have been a bit of an opportunist. These are just cards that are revealing themselves to me as I'm shuffling, guys. Tell me more about this. What is this all about? Okay, this person, they might go a bit, or it might have caused a bit of depression in you, Cancer, but this person might suffer from a bit of depression. I'm sorry, forgive me. but there's still no commitment there, and it's almost like this person might play a little bit of the victim because of the old you would be nurturing, Cancer. But you know what? They obviously miss your nurturance now, but they might have played with it. And you got very clear in the past about, you know what, there's an imbalance here. Interesting. I like it for you guys, though. Okay, look at this. Okay, as an outcome, we've got the Tower. You've avoided a Tower moment. Yeah, the love has dropped out. I don't think there's a new beginning in love here. It's me, not you. You realize that it's this person, Cancer, and it's not you. And this is how you change the game, right? Yeah, look, you know, you are dropping the ball and you're looking for something, you know, stable and solid, Cancer. You might still be grieving the past. It's normal, isn't it? You know? And then we've got needy, insecure. Some of you might actually, you know, be really starting to look at how far you've come. That, you know, some of the mistakes that you might have made in overstaying, over-nurturing situations because you were maybe a little bit needy or insecure, you know, like almost codependent in the past. But that's no longer you. You're realizing all of these projections over here, you know, being mistreated, taken advantage of, it's not about you, it's about this person. Let's have a look. I'm not laughing at you, Cancer. I'm laughing, you know, look at this. You know, this just pops out to me. I try to control you, Cancer, through my own insecurities. You know, projections, guys. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. Let's have a look. I just want to go one more card on that one. I do my best to avoid you at all costs. Interesting set of cards here. We've got the Magician, the Hierophant in reverse, the Magician in reverse. This is someone that would probably try to avoid conversations regarding commitment. Where's this going? Is this solid and stable? Do you know what I mean? So good for you, Cancer. If it is about love throughout July, let's have some overall messages. Some overall messages regarding your love life. Deception. Somebody's wearing a fake self-mask in this. This could be the one in reverse. You know, I think you've moved on, Cancer, or you are. Release your ex, okay? The time has come to clear your energy. It kind of came out sideways, so some of you haven't quite released this yet. Over here, you know? And then, but you're getting emotional balance, unrequited love. And then the last one, we've got very soon. Clearly decide what it is you're looking for. You see how that card flipped around? It's almost like you've turned your world up right now, getting emotional balance and clearly deciding what it is you're looking for, Cancer. Something solid and stable that you can nurture. And you're not nurturing at your own expense, where you are uplifting other people and they go away a bag of beans and you're exhausted, you know? So brilliant, Cancer. It's a really nice reading as far as growth is concerned, as far as emotional intelligence is concerned for you guys. You know, this person, they might be kind of like missing you, or there's somebody there that wants to reach out, but you're not open to it, I don't think, Cancer. Let's have a look. I've done that. If you're a song, Cancer, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might evoke certain feelings. I Want to Break Free by Queen. You know, the way the cards are jumping out to me today, I'm not even getting out of the pack, you know, out of the deck. And then you're still the one, Shania Twain in reverse, you know? So I want to break free. I think for a lot of you, I think it's just, you know what, bring on the new, you know? So let's have a look. I've done that. Some of these positive messages to close out this reading. I always close out my readings, even my personal readings. I always do this. You're an incredible friend, Cancer. You know, you're a value and a joy to be around. Okay, remember that. That's a little mantra to keep it in your back pocket. Realize that you're loved, Cancer. And gratitude. Showing gratitude will make room for what you want to effortlessly materialize in your life. So dropping the ball, you know, being grateful for the lessons that these kind of characters can throw upon you. It can seem really shitty at the time, but you come out the other side completely balanced, you know, and you let things end. You know, you don't outstay your welcome where you are chasing. You're now attracting, Cancer, you know. That's a mantra for you. I do not chase, I attract. That which is rightfully mine is on its way. I have faith that it's happening. And there was a card there, wasn't there? It was about clearly decide what you want. And this is what you're doing, Cancer. Brilliant. I love this reading. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means that I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, Cancer, reach out on moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situation. In the meantime, have an amazing first 2 weeks of July, and I'll see you back here mid-month. Take care, Cancer. Bye now. Pisces, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. For those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. So Pisces, this is all about the month of July 2026. We're going to have a look at what's around you, what to watch out for, certainly, and hopefully some nice stuff along the way. So I'm going to try and keep these readings quite short for you, Pisces. Your time is limited. You've got stuff to do. And how's your year going so far? I can't believe we're in July. How fast it's flying by, hey? Okay, undercurrent of the reading. Your work might be quite key throughout the month. The Knight of Pentacles. This is you being very solid, very grounded, being prudent, being pragmatic throughout the month of July. So, you know, enterprise, business, work might be quite a focus of yours. It's a grounded approach. So even if it's in love, you're taking a very grounded approach. You're not away with the fairies, all right? Center of your reading. We've got the Five of Wands in reverse here. So, you know, grounded approach and no time for drama throughout the month of July, Pisces. So you might be keeping yourself a little bit to yourself, working on projects and commerce and working, okay, which is great. The challenges that you might face throughout the month. Okay, we've got the Five of Swords in reverse here. So the Five of Swords, you know, in the upright, it can talk about conflicts, especially inner conflicts. And so the challenge for you is to come out of inner conflicts, maybe around your work, whilst you're staying away from drama, you're really focused on your career. Inner conflicts can be, you know, is this great? No, it's not so good. You know, like the creative process. So just watch your inner thoughts, you know, bigging yourself up and then talking yourself down. So negative self-talk and then positive self-talk might be quite key. Okay, the reasons why it's all happening, we've got the Nine of Wands in reverse here. So you are strategizing throughout the month. This is in part of the collective reading for most of the signs. And it really is about dropping burdens, what stays, what goes. So some of you are very much focused on work, but just watching your self-talk about how successful something is or how not successful it is. Unsuccessful is the word. In the recent past, Ace of Cups in reverse here. It's an interesting card, the Ace of Cups in reverse. You know, it talks about a lack of self-love, but it can also talk about, you know, maybe the lovers dropped out of a certain situation in the recent past and you had no time. You didn't want to compete for somebody's time, care, and attention. The challenge was that, you know, maybe there was always some angry words or some conflict in this and you just decided to drop the burden on it. Your focus throughout the month, what might be taking up a lot of your bandwidth, Pisces, you know, mentally or emotionally, is the Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, some of you, you're not about offering your love throughout the month of July. I think you really are going it alone, focusing on career and, you know, anything that's making you feel passionate. What you don't see coming towards you is the Seven of Pentacles. Somebody is waiting, Pisces, or there's an element of waiting for something. I will clarify. So grab your cappuccino, your latte, or your I don't know, your Chardonnay. Your energetic field, yeah, unsticking yourself from stagnancy. You know, realizing that, you know what, I'm really dropping or working out what stays, what goes with the Nine of Wands in reverse. And I'm unsticking myself from certain ways of being around certain people, places, and things. So it's great. It's about forward movement, but with a grounded approach. Outside influences, somebody is not happy. Nine of Cups in reverse. Somebody might be hitting the bottle, just saying. Nine of Cups in reverse can talk about alcoholism or putting a band-aid on feelings and emotions, or, you know, escapism through the bottle with the Nine of Cups in reverse. But somebody's not happy. Is this you, Pisces? Have you created distance? Let something go here. Drop the burden on it. In your fears, we have justice. Okay, for some of you, you know, will I ever get something that's balanced? You know, if we look at justice, it's almost very similar to the Temperance card, a little bit more powerful in from me looking at your reading so far. You know, it's about, you know, fairness. Will I ever get fairness? Will I do the right thing by myself? Outcomes, all-encompassing, Pisces, okay, and then I will clarify. Is the Two of Swords. Okay, so the Two of Swords is, it's having a choice, but we don't have enough information. We're waiting for that Ace of Swords to make a final decision. So how this plays out, the love, you might not be that romantic. The love might have dropped out. You might have looked at, you know what, having to compete, you know, for this person's time, care, and attention. There was maybe some conflicts going on there. You're dropping the burden throughout July. You're not about, you know, romance and soppiness. You might decide to keep somebody waiting here, and you're in two minds as to what to do about it. But in the meantime, you're going to work, if that's making sense. So your priorities are very different. So let's have a look. I'm going to clarify this reading now. You can see the center of your reading, Pisces, over here, the Five of Wands in reverse. Why is that here for Pisces? Yeah, you know, the Four of Swords wanted to show itself, which is about, you know, being a little bit no contact, missing in action. You've got other things on your mind here. I don't think it's romance with the Knight of Cups in reverse as your focus. Let's have a look. Why is the Five of Wands in reverse as the center of Pisces reading? The Magician, you know, staying out of drama and manifesting stuff for yourself, Pisces. You are working on manifesting good things for yourself. Okay, the challenge that, you know, you might have throughout the month, the Five of Swords in reverse, coming out of inner conflict maybe, and coming out of confusion, you know? And so what can happen with the Seven of Cups here, we can have so many options or ideas. We fail to narrow them down because we don't have enough clarity. So be patient with yourself throughout the month of July that, you know what, I don't have to make the decision just yet. Why can't, I'm just going to let it sit and percolate like a fine coffee. The reason why it's all happening, okay, what stays, what goes, I'm dropping burdens here. What is this about? Yeah, anything that is not changing my destiny, anything that is not bringing me luck, success, and change. Recent past, Ace of Cups in reverse here. You know, you stop fighting for something, Pisces. You know? You're focused throughout the month, certainly not about giving your love to anybody. And you're making a decision, major life decisions right now throughout July. What is taking me towards my goal? What is bringing me fortune? What is auspicious? What is, you know, bringing me luck? What you don't see coming is a period of waiting and holding back. You are holding back from someone, Pisces, throughout the month of July. Your energy is you're unsticking yourself from disappointment. Some of you from, you know, the feeling of melancholy. This is your energy. You're unsticking yourself from disappointments. Outside influences, somebody is not happy and they want to avoid a tower moment here. Now, there's two ways I can read this. I will further clarify a few of these guys, but somebody's not happy, but you want to avoid tower moments. So you might be going to work and focused on your careers, your life purpose, your vocations, you know, your purpose, basically. You fear... Some of you fear justice and, you know, will I ever stop betraying myself? Okay. Others of you, you might be consulting legal practices regarding something to do with your back, just for a very, very minority of you. But the outcome is the Two of Swords here. Yeah, you're not making any decisions about leaving a relationship. I think it really is, you know what, it's not about love and romance throughout July. I'm making major decisions now. You know, I'm trying to manifest good things in my life. I don't need the drama. I don't need confusion. You know, I'm dropping the burden on anything that is not taking me closer to my goals. And what is the ultimate goal? Peaceful, happy, successful life, right? How do we measure success? It's different for everybody. So let's have a look here. I just want to go over here and have a look at this. So somebody's not happy, but you might consider yourself to have dodged the bullet here. Getting out of dodge with the Tower in reverse. What's that about? Let's have a look. Pisces. Okay, let's travel together. You know, so somebody, that might be quite topical, that somebody wants to, you know, to make amends here. But I think we never spend any quality time together. Now, this might be you, Pisces, you know, that you're not happy, but you don't want to cause any Tower moments. You know, you might have decided that, hey, we never spend any quality time together. Let's get away. And this person, you know, there might have been conflict about it, you know. And you thought, does this person even care? You know, I have no idea as to why you were interested in me. So you're in two minds, maybe about leaving a relationship or about, you know, there's instability there. And I've no idea as to why you're interested in me. Why are we together? You know, we never spend any quality time together. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to focus on my career and make major life decisions for me right now. Because, you know, you outrun my chasing. I had to give up on you, you know, wanting to spend quality time. Maybe this person makes you compete for their time. You know? Interesting. Tell me more. Tell me more. I want to go back over here. Pisces. Tell me more. Only you I want. You know, this isn't outside influences, which is one-on-one time, you know, quality time together. It's a love language that may have not been meeting your needs, Pisces. Thrill of the chase. You know, maybe this person loves it when you chase them, you know, and you want to spend time with them, but you know, you stop fighting for it. Maybe this person wasn't putting in the effort. Or it was going painfully slow. Remember, the undercurrent of the reading was the Knight of Pentacles. So it's not, if it's not about career, it's just about plodding along. It can be quite boring, right? So interesting reading, guys. If it is about love, let's have some messages around love. But some of you are very much in two minds about where you live, you know, about relocating. Do I move? Do I not? Let's have a look. Some messages around love. Okay, so the month of July for you, Pisces, unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. You know, we never spend any quality time together. I'm always chasing you to spend time. You know, I'm just losing attraction and chemistry here. You know? And codependency, addictions are affecting your romantic life. You know, over here, maybe somebody has addictions and you're avoiding a Tower moment that they choose to feed the addiction rather than moving forward with a relationship or doing fun things together, you know. Finances and career, you know, financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Now, remember, the undercurrent of the reading was the Knight of Pentacles. You are manifesting good stuff, dropping burdens on anything that's not bringing you fortune, you know, or luck or, you know, change. So you're going to work and, you know, you don't want to be stuck in situations, maybe for some of you where you're living together and you can't make that major decision. You want to avoid a Tower moment because you might rely on them a little bit financially and you're working on some kind of escape plan for some of you. Not a personal reading, guys. Remember, there's many stories on this table, way more than I can do in 20 minutes. What's key for you, Pisces, throughout the month of July that you need to maybe, you know, take on board and maybe refresh your memory about or consider, okay? Let's have a look. Pleasure wanting to show itself, you know, indulging yourself, treating yourself. Emotional balance, you know, stability, harmony, peace, fluidity, stability over here, lack of thereof, but you're not making any decisions about it. Okay? And physical health. Some of you might decide, you know, work on your vitality, strength, body image, and balance. And then personal boundaries, choice, assertiveness, empowerment, authenticity, solar plexus, root chakra, and the heart. Okay, so it looks like a powerful month for you where you might be kind of taking a backseat on a situation which is not really showing up the way you would like it. And in the meantime, you are focused on your purpose, on your career, on your vocations, looking after your health, you know, having personal boundaries. Hey, this is not good enough. And you are looking and seeking out emotional balance and unsticking yourself, you know, from disappointments here, you know. It's great. And this is you, right? The Hanged Man. You know, this situation might have taken you out of your element, Pisces, and you're doing something about it now, making major life decisions here. You're not about romance and all these kind of things. You know, you outrun my chasing. I had to give up on you. And, you know, maybe you lost attraction for this person. So interesting reading and very mixed bag for you guys on this table. If you're a song Pisces, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might evoke certain feelings within you. They're just being brought up to your awareness for forgiveness, for healing, for acceptance maybe. Let's have a look. Pisces. Follow the Sun by Xavier Rudd. What a beautiful card here. And look at this. This is your energy, you know. Unsticking yourself from disappointments, following the sun, becoming optimistic, making major life decisions here. That, you know what, I'm working on me. I want emotional balance. I want stability. And my personal boundaries are in place now. Brilliant. Love this reading for you guys. On, you know, I'm talking about self-actualization, you know, where we become independent sovereign beings, even in relationships. We are independent. We can have healthy, interdependent relationships. We're not chasing, we're attracting, okay? Brilliant, I like this reading. Positive message to love you and leave you with, okay? Keep it in your back pocket, Pisces. It's pull it out. You're glowing. Look at this. I love this reading for you guys. You're glowing from the inside out, Pisces. Choose to feel good about yourself. You will only attract positive people, circumstances, and opportunities by doing so. And that's what you're doing in July. It's like, I'm doing me, not in a selfish way, just because now, you know what? I'm feeling empowered and I want to be authentic to myself. I'm not dimming my light to fit in or chasing anyone, you know? Brilliant. And one more. For you, Pisces, wealth. Money's on its way. Excuse me, guys. Journaling. Write down how you're feeling, Pisces. This will help you release anger, confusion, and self-doubt. So for some of you, although the outcome is not making any major decisions, a bit stuck in two minds about maybe the instability within a relationship, no idea as to why is this person even with me? They can't be bothered to show up and spend quality time with me. You know, even if you're living together, right? So it's great. It's a good reading. I like it for you. Look, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, Pisces, reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing first 2 weeks of July, and I'll see you back in mid-month. Take care. Bye. Scorpio, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a very warm welcome back. Some of you might be dealing with a Capricorn. Other than that, some of you, you know, in business, in anything to do with money, might be really quite key. You know, reciprocity. So whatever you're nurturing, Scorpio, you will get reimbursed for. What I mean by that is you'll get your just merits, okay? Anything to do with money and finances, anything to do with work looks good. So this is all about July 2026. Some of you are definitely dealing with a Capricorn. We're going to look at your energy, Scorpio. What's around you, what to watch out for, what to pay attention to, certainly, and some nice outcomes, hopefully. God knows we need them, hey. Dropping burdens, Scorpio, you know, what stays, what goes, so that you can really, you know, fine-tune where your efforts should be placed, and outside distractions, no time for them. Okay, so let's have a look. One more shuffle, guys. We're going to go straight into this. Right, that's done. Undercurrent of your reading, Page of Wands in reverse here. So for some of you, there is a new start which hasn't started just yet. Now, it might be a creative project. It can be something to do with commerce, okay? But, you know, the undercurrent, the Page of Wands in reverse, it hasn't quite started yet. This new journey, Scorpio. Center of your reading today, Knight of Cups in reverse. Some of you might be missing a little bit of affection, a little bit of romance in your life. Knight of Cups in reverse. Maybe it's, you know, July is not about love. It might be very much to do with finances, legacies, you know, playing the long game, sorting out your stability. Speaking of love, okay, the challenge that you've got is the Ace of Cups. Whatever you do throughout this month, Scorpio, make sure it's in line with your morals and values, and make sure that it's honoring yourself. So when we're talking how we're going to marry these cards together, you know, when we're talking about commerce, brand new starts, creative endeavors, these kind of things, make sure it's in line with who you are firstly, and it's done out of self-love, okay? So not selling yourself short. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. Look, these are great cards so far, guys. Wheel of Fortune is the reasons why it's all happening. Major change ahead. For those of you that are looking to take risks, and now is an auspicious time to do it. The Wheel of Fortune is things are changing, things are turning in your favor. It's a lucky card, beautiful card. The reasons why everything is happening. Recent past, okay, how it certainly might affect this reading, but how it affects your life. The Sun in reverse, okay, lack of clarity. I think this is a continuation of your previous readings, but lack of clarity. Not everything is on the table. And so that new start is just around the corner, Scorpio, in something, but it's asking you just to make sure that everything is in line with your morals and values and who you are today. Your focus throughout July. Six of Pentacles. Okay, for a lot of you, you might be having talks about pay rises, okay, how much effort you're putting in. It's also a card of delegation, so you might be really delegating. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Okay, I'm going to ship out my marketing to this crowd over here. I'm strong in design, for example. These are just examples, guys. I'm going to focus on that. So you're working smarter, not harder. You might start to take a real good look, Scorpio, around you about reciprocity. You know, like I said, dropping burdens, what stays, what goes. It could be as simple as going through your Facebook, your Instagram, or your social media and go, never hear from these people. They, you know, we're not in contact. Let me cull that, you know, freeing up space. What you don't see coming towards you, maybe contracts for some of you. Remember, Wheel of Fortune is there, which is all about things turning in your favor. It's a lucky card. It's all about change, fortunate events. And then we've got Justice. So some of you might be signing contracts throughout the month of July. Things are becoming finalized for this brand new start. If it's about love, at this point in the reading, okay, the romance might have dropped out of something, and the most loving thing you can do is, because of a lack of reciprocity, okay, is to turn the cycle, to change. You know, some of you might have been quite unhappy in certain connections. And what you don't see coming towards you, some of you might be looking into divorces, for example. Your energetic field, look at this, Scorpio, it's great, all right? You've got fire in your belly. This is all about being attractive. Some of you might do some re-looking, remodeling. But the Queen of Wands is all about taking action. This is not giving an SHIT about what people think, and not in a narcissistic way, Scorpio, but it really is, you know, owning myself, knowing thyself, owning thyself with dignity, walking into a room and you get noticed, you're attractive because the energy says, hey, look, I'm comfortable, you know? So it's not feigned confidence, it's confidence, right? There's a quiet confidence about you, Scorpio. Outside influences, Ten of Swords in reverse. Some of you, you know, there was a lack of reciprocity and you're getting over betrayals. Some of you, If you've had back problems, especially lower back problems, you might find that improving throughout July. Warmer weather, right, can help the bones. In your fears, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you are wondering about certain relationships. You know, are we building? Are we equally investing in this? For some of you that might be thinking or contemplating divorces, you know, you obviously, it's quite normal, isn't it? Assets and these kind of things, joint finance. We wonder, do we have enough? Just for some of you. It's not a personal reading, guys. Remember that it's many stories on this table, more than I can do in 20 minutes. Look at these great cards, Scorpio. The outcome, being seen, being heard, being noticed. For those of you that are working for companies, or, you know, you're freelance and these kind of things, it might really be, you know, looking at contracts, signing contracts. It's all about, hey, look, here's my workload and here's how I'm paid. Some of you might be putting up your prices, for example, and you're going to get victory. You know, sometimes when we sell ourselves too cheaply, it detracts from the value of the product, doesn't it? So it's all about, you know, managing those kind of things. But, you know, I'm going to show you this reading, guys, from overhead. Here's your reading, Scorpio. So why is the Knight of Cups here as the center of your reading? Some of you are lacking a little bit of romance in your life. Okay, Queen of Pentacles again. So they're repetitive cards. Tarot is quite funny like that. And the Page of Swords. So you might be really studying your finances, playing the long game. You know, some of you might be dealing with government buildings, you know, visas, all these kind of things. And taking action, I might add. These are just cards that are showing themselves to me as I'm shuffling. Some of you are definitely dealing with someone with heavy Capricorn in their chart somewhere in your life. Knight of Cups in reverse, why is that here? Okay, you know, July might be a month where you start putting work in. You know, work is the focus. And romance is taking like a bit of a backseat. So there might be, you know, T's to cross and I's to dot throughout July. The challenge is the Ace of Cups, okay? And that's all about, look at this, all right? So the Ace of Cups, and then we've got the King of Wands here. Some of you, you know, you'd love a brand new start with somebody here. You find them very attractive. But you might be, the romance might be lacking there, so you're really burying yourself into work to get away from this. The reasons why it's all happening, you're looking for change. Okay, so you're not going to be foolish with your time, you know, Scorpio, throughout the month of July. It's all about reciprocity or the lack thereof. Looking after number one here, and your inner masculine for my feminine viewers is really taking action, moving forward, you know, bring on the new. Change, but I'm not rushing into it. I'm not being foolish. Dotting the T's, crossing the I's. Recent past, yeah, you got very clear. Okay, some of you might have consulted had got some legal advice here, but there was a lack of clarity around it. It could be visas, it could be contracts for work, it could be tenancy agreements, all these kind of things, all right? But your focus is Six of Pentacles in reverse here. Look, you're all about manifesting good stuff for you. Luck is on your side. It's an auspicious time to make changes. And then we've got you focusing on what are you manifesting? Is it in line with loving myself? Self-love is branded around like the word taxi these days, guys, isn't it, right? But what is self-love? Self-love is having healthy boundaries, you know, fighting one's corner, teaching people how to love and respect you. That's self-love. What you don't see coming is justice, okay? It's something to do with legalities. And then we've got the Six of Wands in reverse here, which is a lack of victory. So look, you know, something might not go to plan throughout July, something to do with legalities. You might have to rethink it. Hence back to what I was saying about dotting the T's, crossing the I's. You know, but you are manifesting an outcome of victory. But first go around, or something might not quite go the way you plan. So just a heads up, guys, all right? Your energetic field, Queen of Wands here. Ace of Pentacles in reverse here. And so there's a strong belief, and you have a confidence And we got the Ace of Pentacles. So you are moving ahead, going into a very lucky time here, manifesting great stuff. The outcome is success. Your confidence is great, even though the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse here. All right. Now, how that would play out again in real life would be, I'm going for it. I have faith that I'm manifesting luck on my side and victory, even though it hasn't shown up just yet. Okay, when it's to do with finances, maybe. Outside influences, some of you, you might be getting over some kind of third-party situation just for a very small minority of you, and you're thinking about divorces and these kind of things here due to not being seen or heard and a lack of reciprocity. Yeah, quite interesting. This is all about change. And then the Fool, obviously when things end like that, we kind of we're scared to start again, even though maybe it's a must on our soul's journey. The soul is unhappy. Some of you might have gone through a little bit of depression over here and consulted, doctors, these kind of things. But your fears, will I ever find somebody to build with? Am I building my legacy? Will I have enough on the earth plane? Why is that here? Page of Wands in reverse. So some of you don't want to be foolish and get carried away. Taking a grounded approach here, confident, yet not overly confident. So it's having plan B and plan C, like over here, justice system, lack of victory there, but confidence to go for it because I know there's victory there. Okay. Some of you are going to get victory over, your emotions. Some of you might have felt a little bit out of balance. Some of you are actually conquering, somebody that might be quite emotionally manipulative throughout the month. That can be a mother figure, for example. Some of you might be getting victory over manipulation, family manipulation. Very deep reading, guys. Many, many stories on this table. Let's have a look. If it is about love throughout the month, Scorpio, let's have some global messages. Okay, very soon, clearly decide what it is you're looking for. So a lot of you are, I know where I've been, lack of reciprocity here. I want change. I'm no longer foolish. I got very clear that I was unhappy with the lack of reciprocity in the past for some of you. And now you're working on manifesting what it is you want. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Finances and career in reverse. Some of you, love may have taken a bit of a backseat whilst you're focused on your work. So, your money is looking good, Scorpio. And then we got you deserve love. This is all about worthiness. Over here, your energetic field, looking good, feeling good, investing in yourself. Like some of you, relooking, having a little makeover. This situation involves marriage. So for some of you, there might be, somebody might have stepped out over here and you're getting over that. Maybe taking action because there's no victory in this situation. But you get victory over emotional manipulation, or you start to feel better emotionally for some of you. What is it you really need to consider throughout the month, Scorpio? Just take on board emotional balance in reverse, but you're getting victory over that. Okay, let's have a look. Scorpio. Some of you, watch your physical health throughout the month. Came out in reverse there. Okay. And speaking up, Scorpio, this is how we manifest, manifest great stuff. Speaking up about, hey, look, you know what? I really feel I'm putting in the effort here. I'm staying late. I'm putting in the hours. What about a rise, douchebag? All right. Listen to your intuition, Scorpio, knowing, sensing, and trust your gut instincts. And I think that's what's happening. Even though outward shows aren't showing that you're manifesting good fortune here, you're confident about it. And then we got victory over here, okay? And then we got faith. Look, I can't make this up, can I? Having faith, miracles, support, spirituality. So, there will be a sensing, Scorpio, about you that everything is good. It's coming my way. And visualization, look, it's all about manifesting great stuff for you. Some of you are scared of change, but you're going to get victory over that. You're scared to start again here, but the Page of Wands in reverse and Ten of Pentacles. It's normal, isn't it, guys, when we're coming out of, for some of you, long-term relationships, marriages even, or thinking or contemplating about it. You might have sown the seed over here and got some advice. But there might be something to do with your back for some of you, maybe a third, what's the word I'm looking for? Opinion might be quite key when it comes to back surgeries, pains, physiotherapists, you know, holistic medicine and balancing them all out. Which one is going to work better for me? I've done that. If you're a song, Scorpio, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might just evoke certain feelings within you, just there to be brought to your awareness for healing maybe, or just acknowledgement. Sometimes when we can label something, you know, it dissipates the feeling associated with it. But I'm going to give it to you, all right? The way it's come out, Freebird, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And this is about you, like I say, dotting the T's, crossing the I's, what stays, what goes, where are my strengths, what am I focused on? I'm manifesting victory here, which is great. Born from, maybe in the past you didn't feel worthy of great stuff, and that can happen to us. Sometimes we can fear success as much as we can fear failure, Scorpio. But I don't think that's you. Look at your energy. It's great. Queen of Wands, fiery, go-getting, you know, looking good, feeling good. And being very attractive to the opposite sex, by the way, or the same sex, whichever way you are, your polarity pulls you. Let's have a look. So I've done that. Where is it going to go now, guys? I think, yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to leave you with a positive message, Scorpio. This is just, you know, keep it in your back pocket as a mantra. Pull it out. Congratulations. Something exciting is coming, and you deserve it, Scorpio. So have faith, not hope. Hope is piss poor. I've said it before. Look for signs and symbols along the way, okay? You're deserving. So worthiness is key. You might feel worthy this month, okay? Accept the good, you deserve it. Reject the bad, you deserve more. Look at this. Manifesting good stuff born of lack of reciprocity, not getting your just merit, Scorpio. Love this reading for you. And you're appreciated. Your friends and family appreciate you far more than you know. What a beautiful way to end this reading. I hope you enjoyed that, Scorpio. My name is Drew. This has been Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, Scorpio, reach out at moderntarot.net directly, or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing first couple of weeks of July, and I'll see you back here mid-month. Take care. Bye now. Taurus, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. So, Taurus, this is all about July 2026. Where is this year gone? So we're going to have a look at your energy, what's outside influences that might, you know, people, places, and things that might affect your month. Possible outcomes, and hopefully some nice surprises, Taurus. So one more shuffle. We're going to go straight into this. Clarity is coming to you, Taurus. The Ace of Swords wants to show itself. Okay, brilliant. Okay. And the Five of Wands in reverse. This is about you not competing for people's time, care, and attention. It's really about you attracting, not chasing. And you're not waiting around for anybody, Taurus. Undercurrent of your reading, you are not waiting around. You are not a sitting target when it comes to love, life, and work. So people better show up for Taurus, because Taurus is on the move. Center of your reading today, Taurus. The Knight of Pentacles. Some of you might be really focused on your work, on your life purpose, really thinking about this now, realizing that, you know what, no one's doing it for me. I'm focused on me. I'm crossing the T's, I'm dotting the I's. So going slow, taking a very earthly approach to love and life, which is great. The challenge that you might have throughout July, the Ace of Cups. Okay, so we know that self-love, and that's branded around the world like the world taxi. But what is self-love? It can be a challenge to honor thyself, healthy boundaries, not dimming our light to fit in, no longer people pleasing. It can be a struggle to keep it up. It takes work, it takes discipline until it becomes second nature. Others of you, look, there might be something that's going kind of slow with the Knight of Pentacles here, even though there might be a lot of love in the situation. That's just for some of you, okay? Reasons why everything is happening, Taurus. Yeah, look, you're coming out of your head now, no longer anxiously attached to people, no longer wanting it too much. If it arrives in my life, great. In the meantime, I'm working on my purpose. That way I am self-fulfilled. I am whole. Great, Taurus, I'm liking this for you so far. Recent past, all right? How this next card might affect this reading, but certainly your life somehow. The sun, you got clarity, getting very clear. Follow the sun. There's a song for you. Xavier Rudd, Follow the Sun. The sun is a beautiful card, Taurus. It really talks about, I can see clearly now the rain is gone, I'm getting clear that no one is coming to save me. I'm doing it all by myself. And that way I'm a whole person and I'm attracting somebody that's whole too. Your focus throughout the month, okay, this might take up a lot of your bandwidth, emotionally or mentally. What is this? Great cards for you. I've got 2 aces in this reading so far. You are focused on stability. You are focused on, some of you are focused on money. You are focused on groundedness, stable offers. You are looking for stability, Taurus. It's tangible, it's earthly, it's like I can touch it, I can feel it. No more, fly-by-nights, no more, what's the word? Love bombing and all these kind of things, all right? It's grounded, okay? And the Knight of Pentacles to back it all up, being prudent, being smart, taking it slow. All right, let's see what you got, as opposed to you're not falling in love with potential in work, love, and life. You're falling in love with what is, Taurus. What you don't see coming, good or bad, life's rich pageant, the ups and downs, the duality of life. Okay, healing, 3 of Swords here. Okay, so it's healing. It's a healing card, Taurus. It can be a scary card when we really look at it, but it really, it's depicted, or the meaning is thrown into question, surrounded by the rest of the cards here. You are healing, Taurus. If I look at the way, I'll show you this reading in a second with the overhead camera, but you are shining a light on self-love and healing. Brilliant. Okay, your energetic field. So how you're going to show up. Highly perceptive people can pick up on this energy. The Page of Cups. Look, these are great cards, Taurus. This is about you opening up to the idea of love again. The Page of Cups. This is about you being creative. This is about you, depending on your life path number in numerology. But, if we are a creative soul and we're not doing anything about it, we're not painting, we're not writing music, playing guitar, pottery, whatever it might mean, that can lead to depression. And so a lot of you, will be starting to look at, creativity. But, this is a beautiful card. This is a card of, it can be a bit naive, but I think in your case, this is purity, okay? You are looking for something kind of pure, especially after what you've been through, okay? I like this reading. Outside influences, people, places, and things that might affect your month, good or bad. King of Pentacles in reverse, all right? So this is, they look great. This might be your money, by the way, okay? Some of you are really focused on new projects, new enterprise, really working on your finances, investments, these kind of things, because, I could be doing better financially. Outside influence, this can also be someone non-committal, but I don't want to go too far into this, Taurus. I think we've had enough of this in your readings, right? In your fears, okay, deep within your psyche, these can be unconscious fears, irrational fears that sometimes can, control the program. The Moon in reverse, will I ever come out of confusion? Okay, the Moon, will I ever come out of illusions? And, how this can play out in this reading, Taurus, if we are coming from this energy where, in a positive way, we're naive, we're coming from a good place, we're looking for love, we're looking for new starts in love. Not everyone is coming from the same agenda, are they? And so for some of you, Some of you might, actually quite dislike the fact that you fall so hard so quickly. Might be quite topical throughout July, but you're looking at it and you've taken a grounded approach. The outcome, Two of Swords, okay? So now the Ace of Swords wanted to show itself in the deck as I was shuffling. I remember picking up on that card. And so July, you're not making any major decisions, Taurus. The Ace of Swords is just behind, just around the corner. But without divine clarity, we won't make those decisions. So it's okay for the month of July, no major life decisions. I'm doing me. I'm working on my career, my focus, my purpose, my life's purpose. Once we find our life's purpose, outside stimuli in the shape of, many things, materialistic, love, all these kind of things, they become secondary. They become, they are not the cherry on the cake, if that makes sense. It's a bonus because we are full. We are on our purpose. We are not empty. So good on you, Taurus. I'll show you this reading. Let's have a look. So look at the center of the reading is the Knight of Pentacles, focused on work. Let's have a look. Where was I going to go? Yeah, I was going to clarify with this. Sorry, guys, I just lost the train of thought there. Right, so why is the Knight of Pentacles here, center of your reading, Taurus? Why is that here? The King of Cups wants to show itself going slow, with your emotions. Coming out of illusions, not projecting all of your good stuff onto people until they merit it. It's great, right? It's healthy boundaries, guys. Okay. Why is the Knight of Pentacles here? The center of your reading. Yeah. Moving forward, okay, at a slow pace and freeing yourself, Taurus. By taking action, we are freeing ourselves. Although we're not making major decisions here, we might be in two minds about which direction we're going in, but we want to make sure that it's solid and it's stable because we are still healing, okay? The challenge is the Ace of Cups. Why is that here? And the Magician. So for some of you, it is a bit of a challenge to manifest, something quite divine and something quite beautiful, but also, as a challenge, remember I was saying, to have healthy boundaries, keep them in place, not to drop them, can be an effort. And, sometimes what can happen is we're in a rush to see outward shows of our inner work, but it takes time. You would agree, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you'll be taking a very grounded approach and celebrating your small wins throughout July. The reason why it's all happening, coming out of your head, coming out of anxious attachments, surrounding, non-committal people. Yeah, look, and letting go of control, Taurus. Realizing we can't control anybody, but we can control ourselves. We can control where our focus goes, And in the recent past, you had an epiphany here with the Sun. Yeah, you had an epiphany that maybe, even though you felt rejected in the past or disappointed with the Four of Cups here, it can be a card of rejection. You are starting to see clearly now that you are ready to open up again, Taurus. Over here with the Four of Cups, right? We can, there might be suitors, people around us, if we're talking about love here, and we're not even noticing them because we're in some kind of vortex of a deep connection, which was non-committal for some of you, right? But your focus is the Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So how this plays out, your focus. You are looking for something stable and solid, okay? And you're highly competitive with the Five of Swords here. The Five of Swords can talk about conflicts, inner conflicts. So this too, the outcome is being in two minds. You'll be looking at commitments now. How would I recognize it if it shows up in my life? It might be quite key. What you don't see coming towards you, we've got the Three of Swords, Page of Wands in reverse here. All right, some of you are healing from something that, there was no brand new start in. It's still there. That's okay. It's sitting down, and you're sitting with it, Taurus, as you go out into the world and focus on your careers, your life purpose, which brings you way more satisfaction. You are less vulnerable to people playing with you because you have a purpose, right? Okay, Page of Cups, why is that here? Look at this, look, Page of Cups, and then we've got the Five of Cups. So you are opened up after disappointments, Over here, you weren't seeing other things. The sun's come out. Now you're starting to see and be seen, Taurus. It's great. Outside influences, King of Pentacles in reverse, King of Pentacles. And so some of you were really being put off, is everybody out there? Are they all liars, stealers, and cheats? And, now you're suddenly opening up again. You're not letting this run the show, okay? There might be somebody around you that was non-committal and now they suddenly want to commit. Who knows, right? But in your fears, the moon, will I ever come out of illusions and self-deception here with the Seven of Swords here? Look at this. You are in two minds about a passionate, brand new start here. So, the Ace of Wands is a beautiful card here. You've got aces all over the place in this reading, Taurus. It's a powerful time for you. But you're in two minds about where you are taking your wand now. And what I mean by that is, the wands talk about being creative. It's a creative idea. So some of you really focused on career, life purpose, money, foundation, anything solid. Okay, you might have some inner conflicts around it. But you, at the end of the month or throughout July, you're going to be in two minds as to where you are going with it. Which one am I going for? So it's a great month in moving forward. I want to have a look at this over here. What's this about? This King of Pentacles in reverse, outside influence. King of Pentacles in reverse. And the King of Pentacles in the upright. Now, how this can play out, guys, is your focus is on some kind of contract, okay? Might be a bit conflictual, or you might be a bit conflicted about it, but from money not looking so great, it becomes fantastic. So some of you might win contracts that you're in two minds about, or thought that you might not get, right? What is that about? Let's have a look. Social butterfly, like-minded person, and then only you I want. Okay. And so how this plays out, you are looking for a balance between the two. You are looking for someone, Taurus, that not only is, they are sociable, they are out there, you can spend quality time with them, they are like-minded, and they are also quite loyal. So you've come from this to this, your outlook over here, open to new love after disappointment here. I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush. I'm getting to know people here romantically. It's only a page, right? Getting to know them. But I'm going to be strategic now. I want to come out of illusions, but I'm not making any major decisions and getting carried away, certainly with lust. I'm nobody's booty call, band-aid booty call. Not for you, Taurus. You're looking for something solid and stable. And even though some of you might be a little bit conflicted about how would that even show up in my life? What does it look like? Let's have a look. If it is about love, okay, throughout the month of July, Taurus, let's have some messages, global messages around that. What is this about? Just for some of you, okay, there might have been someone there that didn't want children. That's just a very, very small minority of you. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. So, Taurus, let's have a look at this. Okay. Deception. Somebody's wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. And, how I'm looking at this, you are coming out of self-deception now, not dimming your light to fit in, going with people's agendas, as a form of people-pleasing. You realize that I'm just being deceptive to myself here. I'm starting to get very clear of what I want. Okay? It's time to disconnect from the world. I think a lot of you are looking for, something quite beautiful where, the two of you are enough, quality time. Maybe it's one of your love languages for a lot of you out there. Heart-to-heart conversations in reverse. And so you are open to new love after disappointment. You're not going too heavy, too deep. You're not getting carried away with illusions. Okay, you're being quite strategic. You know, the deep and meaningfuls can wait a little bit longer. Let me find out about, you know what, is this tangible? Is this real? Okay, is somebody wearing a fake mask? Now, we do realize, Taurus, you would agree, there is a honeymoon period and everyone we get to meet, they're always on their best behavior. And the idea is that, you know what, we take it slow and gradual, you know, with the Knight of Pentacles over 3 to 6 months and see how it materializes. We don't project too much of our good stuff onto people too soon. You know, because now we have expectations. It really is about taking it slow, realizing that everybody has a secret life, private life, and public life. You know, sometimes the secret life can be super sinister. Other times it's quite harmless. They're addicted to Snickers chocolate bars. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's great. You're taking a grounded approach to love. There are contracts and all these kind of things. Your money's going to turn around for a lot of you. Some kind of creative project you are going to be in two minds about. You're just waiting for divine clarity, the Ace of Swords, which is coming, Taurus. What's key for you moving forward throughout the month of July? What's really key for your growth, your healing, moving you forward, you know, living an abundant life, self-esteem, Taurus? Brilliant. Okay, solid boundaries are in place now. Visualization, this is all about manifestation, imagining it, seeing it happen. All right, it can take a different form when it lands in our lap, but the feeling is always there. So working on manifestations is key. The sacral chakra, which is all to do with creation. It can be a card of, you know, sexual pleasure, these kind of things. But the sacral chakra with the Ace of Wands, you know, some of you might be in two minds, you know, about someone here that might finally want to show up the right way, but you're in two minds. Look, you know, seen it all before. Is this just a Band-Aid booty call? And seeing perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. Some of you getting very clear about what is stable and solid for me. I'm being strategic now. I'm coming out of illusions. I'm not making any major decisions, certainly not based on lust. Okay, it's brilliant. It's a great reading in as much that, you know, you're super dignified here, Taurus. You are a force to be reckoned with, you know. Like, people would really have to be upstanding to be around you and dating you, all right, around July and moving forwards. If you're a song, Taurus, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might just evoke certain feelings within you. If it's not your genre, dump it, but give it one listen to. There might be a message, you know, in there somewhere. Missing by Everything But the Girl came out in reverse. So, and look at this, Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Give it one listen to. And it really is all about, you are a free bird now, Taurus, moving forward, not making any major decisions based around, you know, shallowness or one-dimensional connections. Maybe you enjoy them for what they are, but you're getting very clear. Your perspective is changing. I've done that. And some positive messages, right, to love you and leave you with. Keep them in your back pocket, as always, as a positive mantra for you, Taurus. Pull them out when you're feeling a little bit maybe low. Surrender. Look at this manifestation, okay? See it, visualize it, and surrender it, and go about your daily business, you know, rather than sitting under a tree waiting for it to land in your lap. It doesn't work that way, right? Trust the universe is working behind the scenes for you, Taurus. Your manifestations will materialize when you truly surrender. And so it's having no expectations, you know, opening up to love, but not projecting all of your good stuff onto people, allowing them to reveal themselves over 3 to 6 months. You know, the honeymoon period's over, the real character that is now showing. And journaling, okay, for some of you, it might be quite cathartic, okay? Write down how you're feeling. This will help you release anger, confusion, and self-doubt, Taurus. All right, might be quite key for some of you. And give and receive love. Give love with a generous heart and receive with an open heart. So you are open to new love, but you have solid boundaries in place now. Brilliant reading, Taurus. I like it, okay? Forward movement for you. For some of you, there might be a passionate new start, which you're in two minds about as an outcome. Just for some of you, it might just be sex-based. Okay, others of you, a very minority of you, there might be someone over here that has kind of like decided to come good. Not for many of you, but just remember, you know, their agendas, okay? based it on clusters of information, clusters of, patterns. Watch out for patterns. They normally repeat themselves unless they've done some really deep inner work, and really change. But, that's measured in time, isn't it? You don't trust them on their word. Okay, let's see how this goes, all right? So the Knight of Pentacles all the way. Slow, methodical, prudent, because it takes a long time. If we get on the wrong train, it's an expensive ticket to get back to where we started, Taurus. And a lot of you have gone through some major healing work. You don't want to undo that by, dropping your guard too soon and, being naive with people that have maybe dodgy agendas with the Seven of Swords, all right? So good month for you. Look, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, Taurus, reach out on moderntarot.net directly, or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on the personal situations you've got going on in your life. In the meantime, have an amazing first 2 weeks of July, and I'll see you back here mid-month. Take care, Taurus. Bye now. Virgo, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. And so, Virgo, this is for July 2026. Where is this year gone? So we're going to be having a look at your energy, what's around you, what to watch out for, certainly, and hopefully some nice stuff along the way. So I hope you're sitting comfortably. I will clarify, guys, we'll use the overhead camera so you can see the cards in the second part of this reading. So, Virgo, what's around you? What's the undercurrent of your month? Virgo. Okay, that's done. So, Virgo, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, this has come out for quite a lot of signs. Okay, so, your work focus, your work ethic might be quite key this month. The Knight of Pentacles is, very methodical. It's very prudent. It's very pragmatic. It crosses the T's, dots the I's. So you'll be taking a very grounded approach throughout the month of July in all areas, work, love, and life. It's all about, getting onto stable ground, earth energy. The center of your reading, Virgo, we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, the Queen of Swords in reverse is not a particularly nice person as an energy, okay? I need to clarify this card, but this can be cutting things out that no longer serve you. They're no longer practical, might be quite key. The challenge that you might have, we've got the Seven of Wands in reverse here. Interesting set of cards. This could be... There might be somebody in your life, Virgo, who's a bit of a strong character, not particularly nice, okay? It might be a woman. And the challenge is that you don't have the strength to deal with a person like this. It can be a card of narcissism, the Queen of Swords in reverse here. And you just got to... Sometimes it's not worth fighting for them. 2 + 2 is 5, Virgo, as far as they're concerned. And you just go, yeah, you're right. Because they want an argument. They want to alter your state as part of their ego. So just be careful of a woman in your life throughout July that might kind of ruffle your feathers a little bit. The reasons why it's all happening. Okay, we have the Death card. Okay, this is something to do with transformation, but it's also to do with an ending. Now, if it's not a woman, it's an energy. It could be you, Virgo, cutting something out. The challenge is you didn't want to always defend yourself, always being on the defensive with a particular person, and there's some kind of an ending there. In the recent past, the Tower in reverse, I think you did your best to avoid it, to avoid Tower moments. How that can play out is we don't speak up for our rights and we kind of people please a little bit, trying to keep the peace. But effectively, when we are conflict avoidant, what happens is conflict follows us. It's funny how it plays out. We think it's, it sounds counterproductive, doesn't it? But when we avoid conflict, it follows us. Just remember that. Your focus throughout the month, okay, you're not doing anything foolish. You're certainly not in a rush. The Fool in reverse, you're not about taking giant leaps of faith, okay? But you don't see coming towards you. I'm going to clarify these cards. So, get your chamomile tea or your cappuccino or your stiff gin and tonic. What you don't see coming towards you, good or bad? The Four of Cups. Okay, you will be rejecting certain situations in your life, Virgo. The Four of Cups, this can be a card of rejection, the Four of Cups. It can also be a card of apathy. It's like when we're going through very heavy situations in our life, we're not noticing people around us. Maybe, other suitors, healthier connections, or the potential of a healthier connection, because we're so in the middle of something. So just watch out for that. Your energetic field, Sun in reverse. Okay, the sun in the upright talks about clarity. It talks about happiness in its basic form. And so you might not be that happy energetically. And it might be something to do with, there could be gaslighting going on, and you just had enough of it. Basically, you might reject it now. Outside influences, the Queen of Cups. Okay, for some of you, this could be your mother, I'm just saying, a mother figure. But the Queen of Cups is an outside influence. This is all about getting emotionally balanced, Virgo. Might be calling you, In your fears, the Five of Swords. Yeah, some of you are conflict avoidant. Just watch that, Virgo, because that can follow you around. The fact that you ignore it or push it aside because you're uncomfortable with conflict, it will chase you. So it's all about boundaries and assertiveness without aggression, Hey, look, I don't appreciate you speaking to me that way. When you've calmed down, reach out. It's just a boundary, but it's done in assertion without aggression. These people, Queen of Swords in reverse, they love you to be rattled and out of your cage. They feel powerful by doing that. And very often your outrage, or your out of character displays of emotion is just a reflection back to them of how shitty they've treated you, right? They fail to understand that part. The Six of Cups, okay, as an outcome. For some of you, you might be quite nostalgic throughout the month of July, something to do with your past. It might be heavily on your mind. This could be getting, after you've been away from a situation, let's say you've been dating and, you've been going through a bit of a ringer, Virgo, you might start to think about old friends that you lost contact with. So that might be quite key. I'll show you your reading. So here we go. Look, the center of the reading, Queen of Swords in reverse. Why is that here, Virgo? What's that all about? Let's have a look. For Virgo, why is the Queen of Swords in reverse for Virgo? As I say, it's not a particularly nice energy, so just watch out for this particular person. And the Five of Swords wants to show itself, which is conflict. And, in your fears is conflict avoidant, right? Look at this, the Queen of Swords doubled up with the Queen of Swords, clarified. Just watch out for this person. The challenge is to stand your ground with this person. It might be something, look, there might be something that might be quite triggering throughout the month for you, Virgo, which reminds you of your past for some reason. It reminds you of your past, which might take you back into a journey. The reasons why it's all happening, some kind of death here, there is some kind of an ending going on, a transformation, if you like. Where there's an ending, there's always a brand new beginning. And then we've got the Seven of Cups. It's almost like you've no choice but to end it. It's no longer an option for you. In the recent past, okay, the Tower in reverse, you dodged a bullet somehow. You avoided a Tower moment. And then we've got the Two of Cups in reverse here, which is letting go. Some of you might have recently distanced yourself from family, and there's repercussions to pay. And you're not doing it out of malice, Virgo. You're doing it because maybe it was toxic, Your focus is the Fool in reverse. And then we've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse here. Some of you, this might be you really cutting something out. You might have some nice memories with this person, but there was an ending. And you want to come out of confusion about it all. It might have been quite a deep connection, but maybe there was some kind of third party there. What you don't see coming is rejection. Yeah, you're going to be rejecting the old, I think. You will do some reflection about the past, maybe about childhood for some of you, how it's played out into your adult life, or these kind of characters that you've been attracting into your life, which may have something to do with childhood trauma, you know? Conflict avoidant behavior as well. That's something that you could consider looking at, the reasons why we do it, Virgo. You know, it's a fascinating subject. Your energy, okay, so the sun in reverse, yeah, you are a little bit disappointed about something, okay, but I don't want to focus too much on that. It's all about, you know, forward movement, Virgo. Look at this. Okay, so, you know, the Queen of Cups, clarified by the Queen of Cups. Just for some of you, this could be a mother-in-law, for example. Remember I said a mother figure, but it's doubled up here, which could be a mother-in-law. And then we've got the Five of Swords. You are conflict avoidant. And then the Chariot in reverse here. You know, maybe it's something that, you know, bugs you about yourself, Virgo, about, you know, not standing up for yourself when it comes to conflicts. You know, like stuffing it down. And then when we don't defend ourselves and we're not assertive, what happens is we can internalize that and then beat ourselves up. So just watch that. It might be a bit of a theme throughout the month. Yeah, you know, look, some of you, you know, you might spend a little bit of time. It's all part of the healing process, guys, where we're thinking about the past and how we were unfairly treated. Okay? I just want to clarify this over here. What's this all about? We've got double Queen of Cups here as an outside influence. If a card wanted to show itself there, I like having options. It boosts my ego, you know? For example, this could be two women. Third party over here, Virgo. Let's have a look. Why is that here? Double Queen of Cups. I'm restless and our goals are different. You know, this person might be quite restless and then I want Netflix and chill. Somebody said the other day that Netflix and chill is something else for a booty call. Please explain that one. I'm using that completely wrong in that case. One more, actually. Sometimes I just need to be alone with my thoughts. Don't take it personally. Look, there might be two women involved here, okay? And, you know, you might get excuses, I just need to be alone with my thoughts. But this person might be quite restless, you know? Look, there might be some kind of connection here that where, you know, you might have gone through a situation here, Virgo, where you left a situation in the past here. And you might be reflecting back on that maybe you treated someone quite poorly and you realize, you know what, that was actually quite a deep connection. I enjoyed how we could step away from the superficial and dive deep, just for a very select few. It's not a personal reading, guys. But your focus is, you're not rushing. Yeah, you know, there may have been a third party there, Virgo. For some of you, like I say, there might be someone from the past that you chose not to go down a road with them, and they might be heavily on your mind. You might have treated them unfairly. We all do it, right, Virgo? You know, not realizing what was in front of us when we had it. I hurt you too much. You would never take me back. Maybe you're thinking about a particular person now. Interesting. You know, it's a very mixed bag, guys. You know, there's a lot of you that something from your past is going to be quite key. It might come back to haunt you or bite you on the heels, just to take a re-look at it and try to heal it. Others of you, you are cutting stuff out that no longer serves you. Some of you have been avoiding conflict, and again, that's been thrown at you once more as a test to see whether you can handle it now. Because it will still follow us around if we are conflict avoidant. We get walked all over and all these kind of things, right? Let's have a look. If it is about love, Virgo, throughout the month of July, let's have some global messages around love. Some of you might decide to just do staycations or get away to, you know, take some time and space away from things. Some of you might be missing a little bit of passion in your life, just saying. Okay, some messages for you, Virgo. Let's have a look. Heart-to-heart conversations in reverse, okay? Just wondering whether there is someone there that you might be heavily thinking about, and maybe you hurt them, so they would never take you back. Do you know what I mean? But you'd love to have a heart-to-heart, or maybe you missed something about that person. Okay, others of you, it's safe for you to love in reverse. And, with the Fool in reverse here, you're not willing to take, risk in love just yet. You're probably still healing, getting over some kind of disappointment here. And you don't feel safe to love. It's okay. Give yourself time, right, Virgo? And playfulness to recapture romance. Allow your inner spirit of youth to shine. So mixed bag. I think there's 33%, 33 and a third. Okay, you're separated into three groups, I think, in this reading, where some of you, it's all about, I'm cutting this stuff out now. I'm deciding to become playful. Others of you reminiscing about the past. And some of you are still healing, and it's not safe for you to love, okay, throughout July. It's only 2 weeks, right? The first couple of weeks of July, and then I'll do a mid-month reading. So it's not the rest of your life, Virgo, don't worry. What's key for you, okay, moving forward in love, in life, connections, okay, might be quite key. Heart-based connections. Let's have a look, Virgo. What is it, the Virgo inner child in reverse here? Very closely linked to playfulness. Sometimes, situations can be so dodgy or really take away from our emotional balance that we forget how to be playful, But the inner child, something to do with the past, childhood traumas for some of you might come up. Possessions, belongings, finances, assets, and treasures might be quite key for some of you. Okay? So looking after your finances, studying your bills, where are their outgoings that maybe I don't use Netflix anymore, I'm into Paramount or whatever it might be, right? But just looking at your bank statements, going, well, that can be cut out. I don't need that anymore. And desires, goals, passion, craving, and fulfillment. And so I think it really is about you're on the precipice of change, following your desires. There's a few things to cover, a few areas to refresh, how you handle conflict with assertion, not aggression, not letting people, change your state might be quite key. And money, so money and possessions are quite key. All right. So it's all about abundance, isn't it? Wanting to live your best life. But, it's just around the corner, Virgo. For some of you, there's some healing to be done. And give yourself time. Be compassionate with yourself about it. I've done that. If you're a song, Virgo, the lyrics might mean something. The band might mean something. The melody might evoke certain feelings within you. Just being brought up to your awareness for healing, right? So Virgo, a song, Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor. For some of you, there might be someone there from your past that might come back to your mind after you've been through a very shitty situation. You think, you know what, that person was a great person, just for some of you, but you might have hurt them, and would they take you back? Well, you never know until you try and reach out, right? I've done that. Some positive messages to love you and leave you with, Virgo. All right, keep them in your back pocket as a mantra. Money's on its way to you. I've got it here 3 times almost, okay? Money's on its way to you. Think thoughts of abundance, Virgo. So you remember, outside of all of this, the undercurrent was the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about work, career, life purpose, your vocation, That might be looking quite good. Be fearlessly you. It's time to become fearlessly you, Virgo. That includes having conflict, all right? This is the most powerful step you can take towards living your best life. Do not worry about what others think. Interesting card to close out this reading. Don't worry about, Queen of Swords in reverse kind of characters, male or female. They love to get a rise out of you. They love to change your state. That makes them feel powerful. They're just tyrants, but, deep down they are super insecure and super weak people. They just cannot, they're not self-regulatory. They have to dump their pain onto other people, basically. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you'd like a personal reading, Virgo, reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. And I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing first couple of weeks of July, and I will see you back here for your mid-month readings. Take great care. Bye now. Capricorn, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. Capricorn, this is for the month of July 2026. What's around you, how your energy might be looking. Pleasant surprises, hopefully, along the way. Capricorn, can't believe we're July. This year is flying by. So I'm going to make these readings as short as I can. I can't leave a reading unread, obviously. But might be quite a fun time for you. Knight of Wands wants to show itself here. Some of you might be putting a band-aid on, leaving something behind and getting out there and just having fun. Okay. Right, so Capricorn, undercurrent of the reading. Look at this, Five of Pentacles in reverse. All right, this is coming out the feeling of lack. It's an undercurrent of your July. It's, not letting anyone change your state, Capricorn. So it's, the mindset of poverty thinking, the mindset of, do I have enough? Am I enough? Okay, it's the end of that in July. Center of your reading, we've got the Eight of Cups in reverse here. So there's something you can't walk away from, or someone can't walk away from you, Capricorn. I know in a previous reading of yours, there was someone there that wasn't taking no for an answer, or is this you? The challenge that you might have throughout July, okay, is the Devil in reverse here. Some of you are finding it very difficult to walk away from some of your addictions. Okay, I'm just saying, all right, I've got to tell it like it is. There's no sugarcoating on Modern Tarot. But some of you are struggling to walk away from some kind of addictions. Now, that can take many forms, sex, drugs, rock and roll. It could be chocolate bars. It could be attracted to certain kinds of characters. Okay, reasons why it's all happening is the Two of Pentacles in reverse here. Interesting card. Capricorn, look, you might struggle to be walking away from someone and let go of the toxic attachment to someone that's possibly juggling you. Just for some of you, not a personal reading. Remember, guys, in the recent past, we've got the King of Wands, male or female, it's an energy. But this is playerism, in and out behavior. They look great on paper. They are attractive. Okay, but in reverse, not so nice. They're not here to stay, They talk the talk, but can't walk the walk, Capricorn. You'll focus throughout the month, okay? Something that's going to take up a lot of your bandwidth, emotionally or mentally. Yeah, is transformation, is endings and new beginnings, Capricorn. So for some of you, it can be addictions, okay? Others of you, it can be a toxic attachment style or a certain kind of character you once used to find attractive, but it's brought you nothing but a bit of misery, all right? What you don't see coming towards you, good or bad, all right? Life's rich pageant, Capricorn. It's up and down, isn't it? It's in and out. It's black and white. The duality of life. We've got to accept both, okay? And then we find what's called joy. Brand new starts, Page of Wands, what you don't see coming. Okay, it's great. The Page of Wands is beginning again with a spring in your step. It's like, okay, all right, enough of this now. I'm ahhing about this anymore. I'm not prepared to be juggled. I deserve better. I'm worth more. So worthiness is key throughout July. Look at this. Your energetic field is the Queen of Wands. In the upright, I might add. And so Capricorn, watch out for this. We have, okay, recent past King of Wands in reverse. And now your energy is the Queen of Wands. Now, he is not a match for her, okay? He looks great on paper, but he doesn't, he talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk. And so your energy now is Queen of Wands, fire, attractiveness, looking after yourself. It's great. Brand new starts for you. What you don't see coming, for some of you, there might be somebody, a brand new start on the horizon, might be a bit of an age difference, I'm just saying. Outside influences, look at this, getting over betrayals, Capricorn. Some of you might be recovering from, lower back injuries, just for a very select few of you, not a personal reading, but getting over betrayals, especially self-betrayal. In your fears, Knight of Cups in reverse here. For some of you, is there new love on the horizon? Is there somebody out there, for me? You've got brand new starts though, okay? It's believing. you're attracting it, Capricorn. Some of you might be dealing with a sign of Cancer, or watch out for a sign of Cancer. That just rolled off my tongue. But, you know, the Queen of Wands, it's attractive. It holds its head high with dignity. It dresses smart. So it's an energy, okay? So, you know, remember the mindset, Capricorn, at the start. The undercurrent of the reader was the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So it's prevalent throughout July. Watch your thoughts of abundance, you know? There's enough of everything for everybody, as opposed to, you know, will I find love? Okay, just for some of you, not a personal reading. Remember, guys. And then the outcome we've got, freeing yourself here. New perspectives, we've got the Hangman, okay? So this is after a time of reflection. I've got new perspectives now. I can see what maybe I was doing wrong. Maybe I was selling myself short. This is my energy, and I've been attracting this kind of crap into my life, you know? And yet, I found them quite addictive. And I found it hard to walk away. You know, maybe it's the competitive spirit. Look at Capricorns, right? They climb mountainscapes like this. They want to win, you know, and they're willing to put in the hard graft, the hard work. But, you know, there's a time when we've got to walk away when it's no longer healthy for us. It makes us doubt our reality. Two of Pentacles in reverse, right? And so your focus is transformation, okay? Endings. Letting things end naturally. You know, when the universe, God, however you frame your belief system, Capricorn, is keeps throwing you the same old SHIT in a different body, you know, it's up to us to get the message, because, you know, they're not going to send new supply, new people, because they're going to go, hey, Capricorn's already busy over there with this douchebag, you know? So you're cutting off your supply by outstaying with situations like this. Let me show you a reading. So let's go deeper, Capricorn, and let's clarify and find out what's going on. So, center of the reading, unable to walk away, or someone's not able to walk away from you. We can flip the script in tarot. Why is the Eight of Cups here in reverse for Capricorn? You might be taking a good look at this throughout July, because it's damaged your confidence. These kind of characters can do that. They live and breathe off of your energy. And it's come out before in readings of yours, you know, where they take all your goodness, your nurturance, your resources, especially your money and these kind of things, and they go away, you know, a bag of beans, and you're exhausted, Capricorn. What can't you walk away from? The Knight of Swords, you know, this is communication. You know, the Knight of Swords. You can't walk away from communicating with somebody, maybe. The challenge is letting go of toxicity and healing, you know? Interesting set of cards there, you know, the Devil in reverse, and then healing addictions is key. But we can be addicted to a certain kind of feeling, certain kind of characters, you know, the same person in a different body, like I mentioned earlier, Capricorn. Reasons why it's all happening. Yeah, look at this. This is like umming and ahhing, you know, dropping the ball, stuck in making decisions. King of Wands in reverse in the recent past, Ace of Wands in reverse. You know, never a brand new start or a passionate new start with this person. Might be just in and out, you know. Might be just looking for a bit of a band-aid booty call to boost their ego. Your focus is, yeah, look, some of you are in two minds. Look at this over here, Two of Pentacles, all right, in reverse, however. But you were focused on an ending and then not being able to move on. So give yourself time to purge your system and really heal. Watch the communication. You know, don't back down on breaking communication if that's the healthiest thing for you to do, Capricorn. What you don't see coming is a brand new start. And then we've got the World. Some of you might be deciding to go on long-haul flights. The World can literally mean travel, you know. Page of Wands and the World, you know. Brand new start, brand new journey, Capricorn. You don't see this coming. It's brilliant. Your energetic field, Queen of Wands. So not only have you got the fire to take action, but you're also great with money and business, okay? You are committed, Capricorn. You know, you nurture situations in a grounded love. You know, these will take away from your stability. I'm just saying. Outside influences, okay? Getting over betrayals. And making healthy choices now in love are key for you. Sometimes, you just want to give up on love for some of you, but you're changing a perspective. Okay. And you're certainly having a look at, you're freeing yourself from something basically that came to a bit of a standstill, Just watch out for these kind of characters. They like to hoover you up, Knight of Swords, fast communication. Doesn't think about what it's saying, Capricorn. It just fills in space. It's like an empty air. There's no weight to it. I talk the talk, remember, but I don't walk the walk. But you're freeing yourself from that. You're freeing yourself from something that was kind of like stagnant, not really moving or taking you anywhere. Some of you, it might have even affected your work. Let's have a look. Outside influences, okay? Getting over some kind of betrayal. Somebody had a choice. Maybe there was a choice between two people here. I like having options. It boosts my ego, Capricorn. Do you really need that in your life? It's just messy, isn't it, It would really take away from your grounded approach to life, your work ethic, your work could suffer, the excuse, this came out for another sign, actually. I can't remember who it was, but you might be dealing with that particular sign. I mean, I've got the sign of Gemini here. I mean, I've got Scorpio, I've got a bit of everything on here. Pisces over there, Capricorn. But, sometimes I just need to be alone with my thoughts. Don't take it personally. This is the kind of bullshit that people can feed you whilst really, they have a choice between two people, maybe juggling you, keeping it at a certain pace or stuck, Capricorn. But you're freeing yourself from this. It's not going anywhere. I hurt you too much. You would never take me back. This is the message you might send to this person. You haven't been able to walk away from communicating with them, but you might just decide to do that. And they realize, what, Capricorn's not taking that anymore. Brilliant, right? So there is transformation there. Even though you might think, throughout July, I haven't really moved on, but you know what? It's transforming because there's a brand new start here. And, a brand new chapter with the world. In the story of tarot, we have the Fool. It's the story of consciousness, if you like. And, we start as the Fool and we learn all of this wisdom and knowledge along the way. We come to the end of that particular chapter, that cycle, okay? And we begin again as the Fool till we reach the world. So we're bringing all of the wisdom, the knowledge that we've learned in the previous go-round into the new one. And it looks like once bitten, twice shy, Capricorn. I think you might be learning your lessons, even though it takes inner strength, to heal that kind of stuff, If it is about love, let's have a look. Some general messages. Okay, there's a strong magnetic attraction. Maybe that's it, healing this attraction, Realizing that, what, might be attractive, sex might be great, but what else are they bringing to me? Nothing but struggles and affecting my work, maybe, chemistry, So just watch your attraction style, Capricorn. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Maybe for some of you, it has affected your career. Getting to know each other in reverse. You never get to know characters like this. They don't stick around long enough. As soon as the going gets tough, they get going, only to come back and hoover you up, Capricorn, all right? Just remember that this situation involves marriage in reverse. It's not going to a higher level of commitment for some of you. Maybe this person doesn't want something solid. They just want to, have their fun, Interesting reading. I mean, there's many scenarios here, right? It's not a personal reading, guys, so I can't read. I'll be here all day reading different stories. I could keep going. It's like an onion, but it's a general reading. So take what fits, leave the rest to percolate like coffee. Let's have a look. What's important for you, Capricorn? All right, to take on board or to refresh or to think about in order to live your best life throughout July. What is it Capricorn needs to know or to consider? Let's have a look. Don't stop visualizing exactly what you want, Capricorn. Manifestation, surrender it. Keep moving, working on your coin, working on your careers, your life purpose. You become indestructible, right? Because you have your purpose. Self-esteem, okay? Confidence, self-love, self-worth, and pride. Look over here, your energetic field, You want to maintain this at all costs. You're attractive, you look after yourself, but you're great with money and finance and nurturance. You know, you don't want to be giving that away too easily, Capricorn. I'm just saying, all right? And an inspiration, ideas spark conception and impulse. And this is an outcome for you, the Hangman in reverse. You found a new perspective now. This isn't taking me, this is affecting my work for some of you. This isn't moving forward. It's the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Always stuck in this stage, you know? And the sacral chakra. This is all about, you know, the sacral chakra is about sex, right? But it's also about being creative. It's about creation. And so, you know, for some of you, you know, like I said, you know, King of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse, you know, that can be, you know, we can be attracted. The sex can be great. You know, these people, sometimes it's their MO. They are fantastic in bed, but it's all they've got. It's all they're going to bring to your table. You know, you still got to sit down and have coffee with them, right? Or maybe it never gets to coffee. It really is just in and out and adios, see you next week, you know? Hoovering you up when they're running out of options or they need an ego boost, you know? I've done that. If you're a song, Capricorn, all right, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the melody might just evoke certain feelings within you. Give it one listen to. If it's not your genre, dump it, guys. You know the drill here. Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis. Whatever that might mean for you. Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, some positive messages to love you and leave you with, Capricorn. All right, keep these in your back pocket as a mantra. Forgiveness, whether in person or in your mind, forgive and move forward. The only person you're hurting by holding on to resentment is yourself. You know, forgive these kind of characters. You don't have to do it in person. You know, I accept the apology I may never receive is a great way of giving yourself your own closure and moving on with a lighter weight then, without that weight of, you know, internalizing. And surrender, you know, trust that the universe is working behind the scenes for you, Capricorn. Your manifestations will materialize when you truly surrender. Surrendering situations like this, you know, sending out visualization, you know, you're sending out your visualizing, and manifesting. What is it I really, truly need? Not my wants. My wants I can compromise on, you know, but your needs, you can never, ever compromise on your needs. The soul will sabotage anything where its needs aren't met, you know, even what you consider in your logical mind to be a great situation. The soul will sabotage it if it's not for your highest good, right? And be grateful, Capricorn, for the lessons, you know. Don't internalize anger about these people. It's just the way it is, all right? Showing gratitude will make room for what you want to effortlessly materialize in your life. So there's a lot about manifestation there, being creative with the sacral chakra of how you're manifesting, getting back to work, doing what you do best, Capricorn, realizing your energy is worth conserving, saving. It's a valuable commodity. You don't want to give it away freely to fly-by-nights and opportunists, right? So, look, I hope you enjoyed that. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe, Capricorn. If you'd like a personal reading, reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing couple of weeks of July, the first couple of weeks, and I'll see you back here mid-month. Take care. Bye now. Aquarius, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. So Aquarius, this is all about the month of July 2026. Where is this year going? So we're going to have a look at your energy. What's around you? Outside influences, people, places, and things that might affect your July. And hopefully some nice surprises along the way. Hey, God knows we need them, Aquarius. So a couple more shuffles, guys. I'm going to make these readings fairly short for you. I know your time is very valuable. You've got stuff to do. One more. Yeah, that's done. Okay, Aquarius, the undercurrent of your reading, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you might not be that much into work throughout July. But the Knight of Pentacles, something might be coming to a full stop. You might stop putting effort and work into a certain thing in your life, whatever it might mean. But it really is about, where do I put my effort? Where is my effort best invested? It might be quite key throughout the month. Center of your reading, Aquarius. We've got the Temperance in reverse here. Okay, so this is about you choosing very wisely throughout July. Where do I give my time, care, and attention? Am I giving it to anything that is taking me, number one, out of balance, or am I giving to situations where there's an imbalance? If this is making sense, Temperance in reverse. The challenge that you might have throughout the month is the Moon. Okay, so the Moon is an interesting card. It's a very mysterious card in tarot, but it can talk about secrets. It can talk about illusions, confusion. So you might be a bit confused as to, where is my energy going? Where am I putting my energy this month? The reasons why it's all happening, Sagittarius, you might lose patience with certain people, places, and things throughout the month, which is okay, which is part of the soul's journey of saying, hey, look, you know what? This is tried and tested. We've been there. Maybe time for new stuff now. Okay, Strength in reverse here. If this is about love, just for some of you, the undercurrent, was, something might have come to a full stop, okay? Some of you might have been dealing with someone with the sign of, I've got 3 signs here, okay? But they might have fire, earth, and water in their charts. Fire and water in their chart. Sagittarius, I've got Leo, I've got a bit of Pisces here. Let's have a look. And so, if it's about relationships, it might be an imbalance and there might be some kind of secrets involved, and secrets don't have to be always sinister. It could be, lying by omission, omitting vital facts and information. And I think you just lost patience with it. Recent past, how it might affect this next card, how it might affect this reading, but also your July. 7 of Pentacles in reverse here. And I think really this is what's happened, in the recent past, Aquarius. You were giving a lot to certain situations. You decided to do you. You realized that you can't change anybody. They can be unbalanced or all by themselves. And I think you weren't waiting around. You were taking action in your life, doing things that inspired you, doing things that move you forward. Okay, your focus throughout the month, all right, it might be taking up a lot of your bandwidth emotionally or mentally. What is this about? Okay, the Devil. This is a focus of yours. And so really what it is some of you might be focused on addictions. I'm just saying, like looking into ending certain addictions. Addictions can be chocolate, it can be cake, it can be, sex, drugs, rock and roll, it can be exercise or anything that we're doing too much. Some of you might be thinking, what? This particular connection or a connection might be toxic. For example, some of you, you might be focused on a Capricorn. For some of you, the Devil represents Capricorn. What you don't see coming toward you, good or bad, okay, is a choice in love, Aquarius. It's certainly what you don't see coming is making healthy choices. Although it can be connected to love, the lovers, it's about all-encompassing, about making healthy choices for me. What stays, what goes? Am I gravitating towards a certain kind of pain, which I'm addicted to, all right? Because it feels comfortable. Sometimes it can feel like childhood, right? And we wonder why we do it. It can be melancholy, addicted to the state of melancholy, limerence, many states. So healthy choices, but certainly maybe a choice in love for you. Your energetic fields are highly perceptive. People will pick up on this energy within you. Is the 7 of Swords in reverse here. You might be feeling a little bit sneaky, Aquarius. People might not trust you throughout the month. And I don't think it's anything that you are doing. I think how that would play out in real life, the 7 of Swords in reverse as an energy, I think you're doing what's best for you. if this is making sense, because you might have been given to certain situations that really took you out of balance. And so now you might be feeling quite selfish throughout the month. And that's okay, all right? Self-preservation. Outside influences, we've got the King of Pentacles. There's so many people in your reading. I'm just wondering, Aquarius, whether you've been scattering your energy very thinly, dealing with many, many people, which has left you a little bit depleted and out of balance, or it will do throughout July, physically losing strength here. And so your fears, okay, unconscious fears, deep within your psyche, they can be irrational fears, but sometimes they can run the machine, can't they? Is the Hermit. Some of you fear loneliness, and hence you scatter your energy too thinly. Just be careful of burnout, over socializing. Don't forget to take proper time out for yourself, Aquarius, where you are recharging your batteries and doing your inner work. And then the outcome is the Eight of Pentacles. So we've gone from not waiting around, losing patience, okay, from situations that make you feel out of balance, starting to look at, is that toxic? Am I toxic? And we can look at ourselves, right? We're all accountable in tarot, in life. And the outcome is putting the work into something, working on something. We're going to find out what this is. Some of you might really decide to focus on your careers, and work will be a major focus after maybe over-socializing or spreading your energy too thin. So here's your reading, right? Let's have a look. So remember, Temperance in reverse is the center of the reading, guys. So what is that all about? Let's clarify. So grab your cappuccino, your Chardonnay, whatever you've got going on there, and hopefully you're nice and relaxed. Let's have a look. Aquarius, why is Actually, I'm going to give you that one. Queen of, look at this. You are cutting anything out that is imbalanced. Love, life, and work. Anything which is no longer passion, it's a duty, it's the devil energy, which is an addiction, which can be doing something too much to the point that it becomes quite dangerous, right? And sometimes when we can, scatter our energy too thinly, it can be toxic too, toxic towards oneself. So let's have a look. Why is the moon here then as the challenge, which can talk about secrets and illusions? What's this about? Something's not coming together for you, Aquarius. I'm not sure why. When the deck does this, there's always some inertia. Let's have a look. Look, it keeps happening. Wow, one more go. I can't believe this. All right, one more go. Let's get this now. All right. Yeah, look, throughout the month of July, certain things might not come together as planned. Okay. So the challenge that we have, is putting work into situations that leave you a bit confused. I'm just wondering over here if you're going to be doing too much throughout July at the cost of your own well-being. So watch that, Yeah, look, the reasons why it's all happening, we've got the Strength in the reverse, and then we've got the Hermit. Some of you, you might experience bouts of loneliness throughout the month, which makes you hypersocial and all these kind of things. Just watch out for social burnout. Remember that we're always taking on other people's energy too. So we need a certain amount of downtime, a certain amount of cleansing, Aquarius. Recent past, you stopped waiting around for something that wasn't making you happy. Some of you had stopped waiting around in situations that you found to be toxic, maybe drinking buddies, Aquarius, where they weren't your true friends, for example. They were drinking buddies. That's just for a very minority of you. Your focus is addictions. There might be something there that you find addictive, which you find it very hard to move on from. But the very fact that it's come to your awareness is change. You are going to be making healthy choices. Some of you might decide to get some counseling with the Three of Pentacles here. Some of you, what you don't see coming, there might be a choice in love and something to do with three people in the mix. I'm not saying it's a third party, guys, but it might be to do with some kind of collaboration. Okay, we've got three people here. Or the healthiest choice for you is maybe to, seek out some therapy. This could be, AA for some of you that are going through that. Seven of Swords in reverse. This is some of you, just for a very select few, some of you might be self-deceiving yourself regarding what you consider to be, a Two of Cups energy. Now, how this can play out in real life, don't shoot the messenger, guys. I'm not a sugarcoat reader, but, sometimes what we can do is we can really look for this and romanticize something that is, we can disguise it, or we can, what's the word, camouflage a toxic connection as a twin flame. And, it can leave you very, very confused here. All right, this is just for some of you. So you might start to get very clear about what is healthy choices in love. And maybe getting some advice, some wise counsel with the Three of Pentacles there. Because, there's a big misconception about the twin flame journey, when really it's just a fancy label for highly toxic, connections. So that might be a theme for some of you, okay? Outside influences, we've got the King of Pentacles and we've got the High Priestess in reverse here. Some of you, there might be an imbalance in a situation that you might decide to cut it out. You lost patience in it. Somebody was non-accountable. You were tired of waiting around. It wasn't making you happy because maybe this person was committed elsewhere and the secret has come out, or you found that out about someone. You do fear loneliness. And you do fear starting again, which can sometimes keep us trapped in situations. Better the devil we know, if this is making sense, Aquarius. But the cards are calling for you to have the strength, turn this upright, be accountable to yourself that, this is actually taking away from my inner balance here. I need to cut this out and choose healthy, wise connections for myself. Healthy choices in love, life, and work, right? Outcome. Yeah, some of you are very much going to be putting work into things that you had lost optimism about. When we have, I think there's a lot of connection stuff going on here, but we can put so much work into this scatter energy. Our work takes a little bit of a backseat and we lose optimism about, where our careers are going. It takes us off path. So it might be quite a very deep month for you guys in what stays, what goes, what's healthy for me, If it is about love, let's have some messages around love. Aquarius, interesting reading. Wasn't expecting that for you today, but it is what it is, right? I don't sugarcoat. But, as far as self-work is concerned, moving you forward, ending addictions for some of you, or, fighting addictions might be quite key. Some of you fighting the reasons why you find certain characters attractive because, they remind you of childhood. We could have avoidant parents, for example, and we date the people that remind us of our parents, right? There's many, many scenarios on this table. It's not a personal reading, guys, so it's not very direct, right? Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So some of you, there is a focus that, why am I still addicted to this? I can't move on from it. Am I deceiving myself that this is my twin flame, this beautiful Two of Cups energy? And passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Some of you, as an outcome here, you're going to find, redirecting your energy away from this and finding passion back in your work and your careers and your life purpose, And then we've got unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So, it might be quite topical that a lot of you are getting very clear with yourselves that, I was looking through rose-tinted glasses at a certain connection that really took me off my path. If anything, it made me feel lonely. But if we use the Hermit, in the right way, it's a very spiritual journey. It can take us on into the dark night of the soul. And from there, the other side of the dark night is just a beautiful, peaceful feeling. You become self-regulatory. You don't need somebody else. You'd love to have a companion partner in your life, that you can share your journey with, but you're not addicted to it, if that's making sense. So it's a very deep reading, guys. Is what it is, right? Let's have a look. I've done that. What's really important for you moving forward, okay, throughout July, Aquarius? Okay, relationships in reverse. Some of you might be letting go of certain relationships, even though you find it really difficult, and having faith that, you know what, I'm going to get through this. Let's have a look. You might come out of communication, stop communicating. Dreams, pay attention to your dreams. Messages, signs, symbols, and guidance, okay? So pay attention to your dreams, Aquarius. And a connection, universal oneness, love, interconnection, support. Connection, some of you, as I say, you might decide to go to groups or therapy of some sort, talk therapy. It can be AA for some of you. And then we've got divine consciousness, okay? So it's spiritual time for you, Aquarius, interconnection, expansion, oneness, and light. These are chakra cards. The colors purple and green might be quite significant. So the heart, and then we've got spirituality. So when we look at that now, in relation to this reading, we've got deceiving myself about this is my twin flame for some of you, and it's toxic and I can't move on, Now, if the Lovers was here, in this position instead of the Devil, if you look at these two cards, it doesn't show up that well on camera, guys, but they're very closely linked. Not so much in this deck, but in traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite system of tarot, the Devil card, they are handcuffed together. They are in bondage. Codependency, narcissism is that famous dance. The giver, the overgiver needs the taker. In the Lovers card, they are free. They are not bound to each other. It's a choice. It's healthy. They support each other's journey, as opposed to being addicted to the other person where they're putting them on a pedestal, So really interesting reading, very deep, guys. I hope it makes sense to you. I've done that. If you're a song, Aquarius, the lyrics might mean something. The band might mean something. The melody might evoke certain feelings within you. They're just there to come up to your awareness. All right, for healing, or don't you forget about me, simple mind. Whatever that might mean, give that one listen to. Don't you forget about me, simple minds. Is this someone that won't leave you alone, Aquarius? Don't you forget about me? And they're constantly there, not letting you move on for some of you, Yeah. Let's have a look. I've done that. Some of these now. Positive message to love you and leave you with. Keep it in your back pocket. Remain completely focused on what you're looking for. The best is yet to come, Aquarius. So have faith. That was another one of the cards for you that, and heal. Allow yourself time to heal. Be kind to yourself right now. One more. Aquarius, for the month of July. Trust and receive amazing work. Your persistence is paying off. Trust the process and expect to receive very soon. So those of you that are fighting addictions, addicted to a certain kind of love, addicted to what you consider to be, a twin flame, are you deceiving yourself? You will have the strength to release yourself from it, to look out for really healthy choices for yourself. Okay, brilliant. I love it. Okay, Aquarius, I hope you enjoyed that. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you would like a personal reading, reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. And I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing July, and I'll see you back here mid-month. Take care. Bye. Libra, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. And so, Libra, this is all about the month of July. What's around you, what to watch out for, certainly, and some nice stuff along the way, hopefully. So Libra, I hope you're sitting comfortably with your gin and tonic, your chamomile tea, your cafe latte, whatever is your pickle, right? And we're going to go into this. Okay, watch out for some conflicts, okay, that might come around in July. Just be careful, okay? Maybe conflicts with something or somebody from the past. So, Libra, one more shuffle and go straight into this. Your time is very valuable. So I want to make the reading as quick as I can. All right, Six of Cups in reverse. Okay, some of you might be really releasing the past, and you might, which can take, many forms. This could be, distancing yourself from family, distancing yourself from ex-lovers, where you stayed friends. But the past, letting go of the past, and you might get some kickback. People might see that they're losing you, Libra, but that equates to. They might say you're changing, Libra, but it equates to basically we're losing you, Libra. Center of your reading. Seven of Pentacles in reverse here. Okay, watch out for impatience throughout the month, but you're not waiting around for something anymore, Libra, whatever this might mean. The challenge that you might have throughout July is the Ten of Wands in reverse here. You might have lost patience with something and you're not prepared to wait around. And the challenge is you're almost there. This might have been quite painful or a heavy load to carry. Something maybe to do with finances, something to do with the Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah, it's almost like for some of you, something to do with your work. And you're not waiting around, you just want to drop the burden, but it's a challenge to let it go, Recent past, some kind of deceit, Seven of Swords here. Some of you might have been dealing with someone with heavy earth in their chart. I'm just saying, you're not waiting around, it's been burdensome. This might be a situation that you nurtured, Your focus is the Three of Pentacles. Just wondering if there was some kind of third party involved here, Libra. Okay, what you don't see coming towards you, okay, leaving the drama behind. You certainly don't want to compete for somebody's time, care, or attention. If this is about love, if it's about work, you might put a lot of effort into it, but it's a bit burdensome for you throughout July. Okay, you might be exhausted at work, basically. Okay, your energetic field, you're looking for brand new starts, the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, after we've made decisions, the Two of Wands, we grab a wand and we move forward. So your energetic field is you're looking for brand new starts, some of the creative new starts. Okay, the wands can talk about creation, creativity, but brand new starts is your energy. You're up for it, Libra. Outside influences, people, places, and things that might affect your month. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you might be leaving jobs or contemplating that. You're just burdened by it. Some of you might decide to go into business, for yourself, self-employment all the way, Libra, as opposed to working for companies or collaborations. Your fears, okay, deep within your psyche, these can be unconscious fears. They can sometimes run the machine, irrational fears. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, hell is other people, when's it my turn? The Wheel of Fortune. We just watched that. Think thoughts of abundance throughout July, Libra. And the outcome, death, okay, endings, brand new beginnings. So for some of you, you might leave behind some drama of third parties and let it end. Others of you, transformation is on its way. Where there's an ending, there's a brand new beginning, Libra. So let's go deeper into this reading. I'll show you your reading and let's clarify. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, guys. Remember, it's just a general reading. It's not a personal reading, which are very targeted on people, places, and things. So let's have a look. Why is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse here? Some of you might have really nurtured or worked hard at a particular company, all right, and didn't get your just merits, but you were waiting for it. It's all about manifestation for you, Libra. Throughout the month. Let's have a look. Libra. Why is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse for Libra? Not waiting. The Seven of Swords in reverse. It's come out again. It wanted to come out there. Lovers in reverse. Somebody didn't choose you, Libra. Okay? So you're not waiting around to be chosen. You are a choice, not an option, basically. is your mantra, Libra, throughout the month of July. You know, the challenge, in the challenge position, we've got the Ten of Wands. This might have been very burdensome. You know, some secrets might have come to light. The reasons why it's all happening is the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So, you know how this could play out is these might be the two people here. We've got the King of Swords and we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. The reasons why it's happening. You might get very clear, Libra, that you've been nurturing a situation where there was deceit. Maybe a third party for some of you. Why is the Seven of Swords here? This might have made you feel like you were not the chosen one, you know? The Empress in the upright can talk about being the one. This could also have made you feel less than. Your focus is the Three of Pentacles, okay, third party possibly, and also the Devil in reverse here, letting go of maybe a toxic connection somehow, Libra. What you don't see coming towards you is letting go of the idea of competing for somebody's time, care, or attention, dropping the drama, and waiting. Seven of Pentacles is quite key in this reading. Now, somebody might be waiting for you, Libra, after they've, not chosen you. Possibility there, right? But you're all about brand new starts. This is your energy because you're looking for something reciprocal. The Six of Pentacles, in reverse for me, it's always a lack of give and take. This could also be someone giving to two people. This could be you, Libra. Seven of Pentacles, some of you might be, dealing with two people here and you haven't really made a choice, okay, which has created some kind of a third party here. They might be very different characters. One might be quite nurturing. The other one might be quite, inspirational, quite logical, quite fast mind, intelligent. But outside influences, some of you are actually thinking about going it alone here, maybe getting some legal advice about self-employment, all these kind of things. Because you weren't emotionally content here. If this is back to this situation, some of you are not putting the work in because you found it emotionally manipulative. It turned your world a little bit upside down. Somebody might have been given to two people. When's it ever my turn? This is in your fears. Am I always going to be alone here? Some of you might be really looking and studying that. Maybe we're going for the wrong types, Libra, And we have, as an outcome, transformation, letting an ending go, okay? And I think this is with a particular person, Libra, no brand new start. I don't think you want a new start. You are open to brand new starts here in something reciprocal. If it is about love, Libra, let's have some global messages around love. All right, children might be a factor in your love life, Libra. The one of or the lack thereof, or somebody has them and somebody doesn't want to take that on. Children, look, it keeps coming out. Your children might be a factor in your love life. It's safe for you to love, Libra. After we've been through that, we've made to feel less than, turned our world or our emotions a little bit upside down. It's time to get back on the horse, Libra. It's safe for you to love. We just have to choose who we are giving it to. Deception. Somebody is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. Came out in reverse. So how I'm reading this, guys, is you're getting very clear now. You're looking for reciprocity. And you might have entered into some situations, found yourself in situations, and you're no longer wearing a false mask to yourself. You're no longer self-sabotaging. This can be self-sabotage. The Seven of Swords in reverse here. You're going to be authentic. Take me as you find me. I'm not performing for anyone. And then we've got getting to know each other in reverse here. Yeah, it's safe for you to love. I think for you, a lot of you Librans out there, there's many stories, but for a lot of you, you're realizing it's safe for you to love. I want a brand new start, something reciprocal. Enough of deception. Did I even know this person? For some of you, getting to know each other in reverse, do we ever really know the person we're next to? Wheel of Fortune in reverse, taking a good look at that, becoming accountable, Libra. or that's a fear that, spirituality might be quite key. You're looking for someone with a bit of depth, a bit of intellect, but also smart on the earth plane. You want it all, Libra, and you want it now. Is that a song? Let's have a look. I've done that. What's key for you, Libra, throughout the month of July? Take it on board as, family in reverse, belonging, community, culture, and tribe, grounding, and the throat chakra. Like I said, some of you might be leaving stuff behind, people, places, and things. Personal boundaries in reverse, sticking up for yourself, Libra, Let's have a look. What's key for Libra throughout the month of July to take on board? Or self-esteem. Some of you have gone through, some kind of deceit which made you feel less than. Some of you might have actually been the instigator of deceit and you don't feel good about yourself for doing it. But confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, and pride is key for you. And pleasure, enjoyment, beauty, sensuality, and indulgence. It really is about, pampering oneself, getting out there and making yourself feel better, having massages, a bit of Reiki sometimes, or, just enjoying the sensual side of life. And physical health might be quite key, which is all about grounding, strength, body image, and balance. Back to these cards, guys. Somebody might have damaged your self-esteem, might have created a distortion within your body language, your body image, but you're leaving all that behind now. You're going to let things end with a particular person maybe, and you don't want a brand new start with that person. But over here, you're looking for something out there, Libra, which is reciprocal, but probably not with this particular person. So it's an interesting reading. I think there's many on the table. There's many stories going on here. If you're a song, Libra, throughout the month of July, the lyrics might mean something. The band might mean something. Burning Photographs by Ryan Adams and Follow the Sun by Xavier Rudd. And, it kind of sums up this reading. Burning Photographs by Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams. Ryan Adams, it's all about, forgetting the past. Burning photographs. Yeah, I'm moving on. And what was the other one? I forgot. Follow the Sun by Xavier Rudd. Looking for brand new starts which are reciprocal. And we do that because we're improving our self-esteem, okay? We are indulging ourselves, not in a narcissistic way, but, just pampering ourselves, looking after our physical health, looking out for the way we view our body, talking to ourselves or appreciating who we are. Our uniqueness is key for you, Libra, about feeling attractive after you've gone through something that may have made you feel less than. Some of these are just positive messages to close out this reading. Keep it in your back pocket, Libra, as a mantra. Pull it out, just to boost your morale. Good vibrations. You're vibrating at a high level, okay? Use this to your advantage. The law of attraction will work very effectively for you right now. For those of you that are trying to manifest, leaving behind toxicity, kind of awful dynamics with the devil in reverse there, bondage, narcissism and codependency, all these kind of things, addictions. Trust and receive. Amazing work, Libra. Your persistence is paying off. Trust the process and expect to receive very soon. So it looks like there are endings for some of you, but your energetic fields are all about reciprocity and brand new starts. So go out and get that, Libra. Hey, good month, a lot of growth, a lot of realizations. And maybe, upping your boundaries, your self-esteem is key. And maybe physical health, exercise and these kind of things, just to get those endorphins going, getting you ready for new starts, Libra. So I hope you enjoyed that. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you, Libra. If you'd like a personal reading, reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. And I do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing first 2 weeks, and I'll see you back here mid-July for the mid-month readings. Take care. Bye now. Gemini, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a really warm welcome back. And so, Gemini, this is all about July 2026. What's coming up for you? How your energy looks. Outside influences, people, places, and things that might affect your month positively or negatively. And some nice outcomes, hopefully, along the way. So, Gemini, I'm going to keep these readings fairly short. Your time is very precious. I know a lot of you were coming from burnout and then resting up and doing some good stuff for yourself, ready to go again, and some success along the way. So let's have a look, Gemini, what's happening in July for you? One more shuffle, guys, and I'm going to go straight into this. So, Gemini, the undercurrent of your month. Beautiful card. Okay, this is strength. This is not only feeling in your power, this is having patience. This is taming other people's ego with a whisper. The lion, normally in traditional tarot, this is the Aquarian deck. But strength, this is calling, some of you might be holding back from certain situations. Others of you, you're just having the strength to be patient, okay? Center of your reading today. Ace of Cups in reverse here. Now, it's an interesting card, the Ace of Cups in reverse. This can be a lack of a new start in love. This can also be a lack of self-love. So I don't know what this is about just yet. Stick around, I will clarify, guys. So get your gin and tonic, your chamomile tea, your cafe latte. Ace of Cups in reverse, interesting card. The challenge that you might have throughout the month is the Two of Wands. Okay, so the Two of Wands is about a decision that needs to be made. You know, if you look at this card, you know, the guy has two wands. He has the world in his hands, and his hand is on one wand. So once we've come out of the decision-making process, we've made a decision, it then turns into the Page of Wands, brand new start. So there might be a decision that you need to make. For some of you, it might be around love. It might also be around two things that are affecting how well you're looking after yourself, because self-love is the center card, right? As well as love itself. The reasons why it's all happening, Gemini. We've got the Nine of Swords in reverse here. Yeah, coming out of your head, okay, coming out of anxiety, coming out of thinking too much about the future can bring on anxiety. So how it looks so far, the center of the reading is a decision that needs to be made, and it's all about your peace of mind, whatever this might mean. Recent past coming into this reading, how this next card might affect certainly this reading, but definitely your life, is the Justice in reverse here. For some of you, you might feel that you are unfairly treated. Others of you, you know, you might not want it to be divorced, but here you find yourself, okay, just for some of you, a very select few, not a personal reading, guys, it's you know, right across the board, many stories on this table. But in the recent past, you know, something might not have gone in your favor, Gemini. Your focus throughout the last couple of weeks, or sorry, the first couple of weeks of July, Queen of Pentacles, look at this, all right, back to business, working on your coin. This is about nurturing situations on the earth plane. So, you know, working on business, on finance. It's great. What you don't see coming, okay? Life's rich pageant, you know, negative and positive in life, the duality of life, it's always good or it's bad, right? But what you don't see coming towards you, good or bad, Gemini. Judgment in reverse. All right, so you're not making any major decisions throughout July. There is a decision to be made. But, you know, you might have been overthinking this decision, Gemini. And really right now what it is, it's all about nurturing, looking after you, looking after your career, looking after your finances. But you're not making any major decisions. You might still be in a decision-making process, certainly for the first 2 weeks of July. Your energetic field, okay, you know, no time for drama, Gemini. This is about leaving, you know, well, they say great people talk about ideas, normal people talk about other people. This is leaving drama behind, okay? Some of you, you know, you might have been in very competitive fields and you decided, you know what, now I'm just going to look after me. Some of you might be deciding to, you know, go it alone, self-employment, these kind of things, or enterprises that you have outside of very competitive fields for some of you. Outside influences, what might affect your month? The Ace of Wands in reverse here. So if this is about love, guys, all right, the love might have dropped out of a situation. And the challenge is, to make that decision. Okay, do I keep nurturing this or do I not? Some of you might be committed to it. And you might have thought of all possibilities. Some of you might not want to be divorced, but you want to come out of your head and you want to nurture situations, but you're not making any major decisions throughout July about this. In your fears, the Emperor in reverse here. You might worry about, somebody's reaction, Gemini. The Emperor in reverse, not a particularly nice character. It's, my way or the highway. I want you in my life, Gemini, but on my terms. And as soon as you start being independent, working on your coin, they might not like that. So the outcome is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Nine of Pentacles in reverse is an interesting card in this reading. Some of you might end up not being single, okay? Some of you might be focused on someone completely different here with the Queen of Pentacles, male or female, but it's someone, with Earth in their chart here. So let's go deeper with this reading, okay? Because at the moment it looks a little confusing. There's quite a lot going on, Gemini, and we're going to go through them one by one. So center of your reading over here, we've got the Ace of Cups. So remember, a lack of self-love or, not honoring thyself, and also, it can be love dropping out of the situation. What's it all about? A lack of a new start in love. What is this all about for Gemini? Okay, Chariot wanted to show itself. Some of you might decide to be moving on. Yeah, look, you are walking away from something, but where maybe the situation, the love has dropped out. It's not a new start in love, okay? You might have thought it was once quite divine. The challenge you've got is to make that decision. What's the decision? With the Emperor, taking control, being decisive about a decision. The reason why it's all happening, you just want to get out of your head, out of anxiety. And King of Wands here. Now, some of you, there might be a choice between two people. They might have heavy fire in their chart here, but the King of Wands, you want to come outside of your head and you want to take action. For my feminines, it's about your inner masculine taking the action, forward movement away from a situation. In the recent past, unfair treatment, and you were quite burdened, Gemini. Your focus is the Queen of Pentacles, okay? Look at this. All right. So you are focused on nurturing yourself. Firstly, you're focused on being quite practical with your money, anything on the earth plane, and you're not going to be doing anything foolish, and you're not taking any giant leaps of faith. So it might be a decision-making time for you in July, contemplating, mulling over different ideas, different outcomes, different solutions. Okay. What you don't see coming, Judgment in reverse here. You're not making any major decisions here. I think you're letting it sit and letting it percolate like coffee. You're coming out of your head twice in this reading. Your energetic field, okay, you're not about competition or drama. Look at this. You'd rather be single than compete for somebody's time, care, or attention. Outside influences, Ace of Wands in reverse here, Lovers in reverse here. It's an interesting set of cards there as an outside influence. This is, maybe the passion that's dropped out. Is this a healthy choice for me in love anymore? Your fears, you do fear maybe the repercussions of somebody. If you're deciding to walk away, Gemini, you realize that, this person might be quite dramatic, and this is what you want to leave behind. And the outcome, we got the Nine of Pentacles. And then we've got the Six of Wands, which is a lack of victory. Now, I don't think you want to be single, Gemini, but you don't see any victory in a situation here. So it really is, this is where the decision comes into play. You haven't made it just yet. Will I be able to make it alone? Am I happy being single now? There's certainly no success in this here. Okay? You certainly don't want to be foolish with your resources. This is your focus. Some of you might be in situations here, unfairly treated, but you might be staying around just trying to get the most you can salvage from a situation. Maybe financially, assets, these kind of things. So I just want to have a look at this over here. This is quite interesting. Ace of Wands in reverse, Lovers in reverse, okay? This is a lack of maybe a passionate new start or a brand new start, because someone wasn't choosing the connection, you know? It's also your card over here, you know, Lovers in reverse. You know, it's the card of Gemini. And let's have a look. So whatever it is, it might have taken you a little bit out of balance, out of your element. Yeah, I try to control you through my own insecurities. Is this Emperor in reverse here? You know, a dark night of the soul is consuming me. Some of you, you know, you fear drama. You fear, it's like walking on eggshells with this particular person, Gemini. I follow you on social media, and my silence is not a game. Please leave me be. So for some of you, you don't particularly want to be single throughout July, but you're still in the decision-making process. You don't see victory ahead in this situation, and you might go a bit quiet, like, what's up with Gemini? Whilst you're strategizing. If it is about love, Gemini, let's have some messages around love, global messages for Gemini around love. And getting to know each other in reverse, you know? Do you even know this person anymore? Release your ex in reverse. You know, some of you, there's a big decision that needs to be made, and you might not be quite ready. Okay, romantic feelings in reverse. Wow. Okay, the love has gone from this. Finances and career, financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. You know, come out in reverse. And so your focus is, you know, for some of you, don't worry too much about money. You, with this kind of energy or your focus, you'll always be okay, Gemini. And playfulness, you know, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And this is the reason why it's all happening. You don't want to be in an anxious attachment in your head all the time, you know, analyzing the shit out of things or people, certainly these emperors in reverse. You know, you want to get going again and feel attractive and playful. And a retreat is time to disconnect from the world. You know, for some of you, you might take a bit of a sabbatical. Some of you are still, you know, holidaying or staycationing. I know that was your previous reading, in order to get some peace of mind, some clarity. What's important for you, Gemini, throughout the month of July? Things that are going to take you forward, living your best life, helping you to make decisions. What do you need to take on board? Taking action, Gemini, you know, that inner fire, very King of Wands energy, movement, perseverance, discipline, and motivation. Let's have a look. What does Gemini maybe need to consider throughout the month? Don't forget your spirituality. Divine consciousness wanted to show itself, color purple. Let's have a look. Seeing. Yeah, you are hanging on to making a decision whether to stay or go for some of you if it's about love, due to maybe, you know, someone trying to control you through their own insecurities, not particularly nice person when you cross them, the Emperor in reverse, full of drama. Okay, perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. You're starting to see the bigger picture. You're starting to realize, I need to nurture myself here. You know, this makes me anxious. Where's my confidence? I'm focused on that now. Let's have a look. Intelligence, education, knowledge, perception, flexibility. Some of you are planning your exits from situations. Okay, and maybe reading, getting some info. And then we've got presence, awareness, attention, reality, and connection. So you're taking a very grounded approach, okay? You're not making major decisions. You're waiting for divine inspiration, you know, divine clarity to come your way. You know, I'd rather be alone than surrounded by drama. This is your energy over here, you know? So it's good. It's, you know, it's about forward movement and choosing a life of peace, I think, in July. But they're major decisions that are far-reaching, right? So I guess there's going to be a bit of time there. Somebody might decide to get away to think clearly about this. Seems to be very, very love-focused or connection-focused, and dropping what's no longer suiting you, or something that's maybe an unhealthy, or is it a wise choice for me in love? Has the love slipped out of a situation? Maybe there was an injustice in the past which made you very burdened, you know? Or maybe there was some kind of judgment, legal judgment, something to do with authority that, you know, kind of really burdened you. So let's have a look. I've done that. I've done that. If you're a song, Gemini, okay, the lyrics might mean something. The band might mean something. Somebody might like the band. There might be a, you know, a subliminal message in the lyrics. Okay, give it one listen to. If it's not your genre, dump it, guys. You know the drill here on Modern Tarot. Okay, if you're a song, Shiver and Shake by Ryan Adams, you know, and you know, over here, look, somebody could have been acting single in a relationship, and you're just thinking, you know what, do I really want to nurture this anymore? Acting single in a relationship, Nine of Pentacles in reverse, you know, so you didn't feel seen or heard, Gemini. And Shiver and Shake, Ryan Adams. It's a song all of Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams, guys, but it's a song all about breadcrumbing, you know, waiting like a dog at the door for scraps, but you don't even bring those anymore, you know. Interesting song. I love Ryan Adams. So I've done that. What's quite key or topical, this emotion might come up, Gemini, this feeling or this word might be quite topical throughout the month. Grief, some of you, you know, are grieving situations, the idea of a situation, but you have no regrets because maybe you really try to nurture it, but you don't want to be foolish with your resources anymore. And failure, you know, very often when situations come to an end, we feel like we failed, whether it's our own doing or not. We do feel like a failure, especially if it's marriages and divorces and these kind of things. Whoever's made the decision that I want a divorce, everybody feels like they've failed, you know. But some of you might decide to get away. You want to recapture playfulness now to attract in more healthier connections. And look at you go, you know, with the fire over here. You know, your energetic field is, you know what, I'm going to be independent. I can be miserable all by myself if I choose to. I don't need anybody else to do that or bring that into my life. You know, it's a fear of yours now, you know, over here. And it might have taken some of you through a bit of a dark night of the soul. Or this person might be going through a dark night of the soul, but they're not doing the inner work, and so they take it out on other people. That can be a way forward too, you know? Well, maybe not a way forward, but for them, an escape. You know, they don't want to handle the pain, so they pass it on to other people. That's a possibility. It's an interesting reading, Gemini. I think there's decisions to make, but you're not going to make them throughout July. Certainly not the first 2 weeks. You're going to sit on them, mull over them, contemplate them, you know, ready to get going again. And in the meantime, you might be taking action, some of you legal advice, you know, these kind of things. So interesting reading. I've done that. Some positive messages to close out this now. You keep this in your back pocket, Gemini, as a mantra. Be proud. Okay, you should be incredibly proud of yourself, of what you've achieved. Reward yourself. So for some of you, you know, the undercurrent of the reading was the Strength card, which was all about patience, taking your time, taming people's egos with a whisper. You know, not buying into drama. Enjoy the process, Gemini. It's time to stop and enjoy the present. Your future is being taken care of by the universe. And so I think a lot of you are going to get some divine inspiration and clarity. Ask for it, Gemini, whilst you're making these decisions. But it doesn't look like you're going to be doing the decision making, you know, the final, yeah, this is my wand, I'm going on this journey throughout the first 2 weeks at least. And allow yourself time to heal. Okay, be kind to yourself right now. And somebody might do that by, you know, going on some kind of retreat or staycation, getting away from it all and clearing your mind. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you'd like a personal reading, Gemini, reach out on moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store. And I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, take it easy. Have an amazing first 2 weeks of July, and I'll see you back in mid-month. Bye now.